Well, I'm a minute late. What are you gonna do? Huh? What are you gonna do? How's it going? It's Order 42. It's Rob. You're you. And we're here. We're doing the thing. And Ninjinzu was first. What can I say? Look, Ricky says he's a cheater. I just think he's early. So welcome Ninjinzu. Welcome Ricky. We got Cosma in here. We got Bucho. Little Pee-wee is here. I mean, we got Carbonite here. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun night. I mean, at least I hope so. But yeah, how are you all doing? Let's see. What is... Oh, okay. I was like, what is this? That doesn't look like a site that I would have pulled up, but it's a sidebar with the Hollywood Reporter. Sorry. How's it going? Yeah, let's see. Orange Lounge Gang. I need to get a copy of the Orange Lounge to throw it in there every now and then. I think that would be fun. Retro Pizza. That's right. And it's good to see you, little Pee-wee. And I'm sure, well, I don't know. Are you guys coming to Retropalooza this weekend? Or are you only going to come to Arlington? Either way, hey, I'm excited. Ricky's the biggest liar, lie-hair, and cheater I know. Now, everybody, look, they're brothers, right? So everything's okay. Everything's okay. A handsome, I don't know about that. I did get a haircut this week. Yeah. Teacher's pet. Rufus the Red, good to see you. Ted, good to see you. Welcome. I mean, you know, I've had one of those days where I barely got anything done because I had the allergies have been kicking my butt. So I've been like, I can't even focus today. So it's been one of those days. But other than that, I'm doing okay. I can't really complain, you know. But I do need... Patricia's here? Did you say Patricia's here? Because if Patricia's here, I don't even know what to do. Okay? I don't even know. Not the Houston one. Okay, well, that's fine. I mean, we'll see you in Arlington. I actually kind of wish that they swapped them. You know, so Arlington would be in May and Houston would be in like October or whatever, but hey, you know, way too far for Houston. I mean, I understand it. And it's on the other side of Houston from where you guys are. So I get it. And it's okay. It's okay, Rufus. You don't have to always, you know, come in with a yo. You don't always have to do that. It's no big deal. Yeah, I don't think Patricia was actually here. But if Patricia's here, let's give her a warm welcome, shall we? A good old Order 42 welcome. I'm just saying to the people in and not in the chat, Patricia can go fly a kite. There you go. Go fly a kite, Patricia. Which is, you know, if you really think about it, why is that a bad thing? Hey, go fly a kite. Go kick rocks. You know? Why are those bad things? 6-hour drive. Damn. That is a long way. I want to start going to both yearly again. Well, I mean, it is, you know, you would have to plan for that for sure. I mean, that's not just a simple, you know, jump in the car and do it, but have I ordered from Umbrella Entertainment? Will their stuff play on my Dirty American Piss 5? I don't know if I've actually ever ordered from Umbrella. I don't know if they're region free or not. Let's see, Umbrella Australian. I need to get that Late Night with the Devil though. Know what I mean? Where can I click on that? Shop? Okay, shop. I should just pull this up so you guys can see it. Can I do that? Hello? Can I do that, please? Here's the shop. Irresistible. Look, not my thing. Where's Late Night with the Devil? Winnie the Pooh. I actually follow Umbrella and all that stuff, but I don't think I've ever actually purchased from them before. Oh, there's that Super Mario Brothers. Well, Ricky, didn't you get that? If you got that big crazy set. Okay, where's Late Night with the Devil? Come on. There it is. There's that big bad crazy. Oh, the big bad one's already sold out apparently. It does. Oh, no. That's not the big bad one. That's the cheaper one. Let's see. FAQs, because there's nothing. I don't see anything about region. I don't see anything, but I have ordered from Imprint before, and I have Via Vision. Via Vision is also based in Australia, and they're not region coded. So, I mean, your guess is as good as mine, but I don't know. Go pound sand. Maybe after I sell my truck and get the BMW I want. Which BMW are you gonna get? Because put your hand in a blender. Wow. They say region B on a lot of stuff. Okay, well then yeah, if it's region B, then you'll need a region free player, and PS5 is not region free. But yeah. All of the Via Vision ones that I bought Grindhouse and Drag Me to Hell and the Stephen King set. Those are all from Australia, and they were all region free. So, I don't know. I'm sick of buying bootleg DVDs on Amazon. Just got a Run, Ronnie, Run that won't play on anything. That sucks. I didn't look at my Mario Brothers 4K from them. It played on my PS5. Well, 4K is region free, but the Blu-rays, if it's a Blu-ray, then it will not play on a region A US player. It just won't. So, there you go. I need to download Late Night with the Devil and Kevin Smith leaked NFT movie Kilroy based on the world's first meme. I heard about that one, and I have that was the first time I thought about it since a thing. And yeah, Late Night with the Devil was awesome. If you have the ability to watch Late Night with the Devil, either through Shudder, because it's on Shudder, if you have a Shudder stream thing, streaming service, whatever. Yeah, Late Night with the Devil's awesome. The FAQ didn't help at all. Just thought I'd ask. Yeah, I don't know. But if it's a 4K, then you're good. But if it's a Blu-ray, then you might have a problem. See, like I recently bought. What did I buy? What did I buy that was region B? Oh, it was the Battle Royale set. None of them would play in my player, even though I think Bill Hunt over on the Digital Bits, when he did the review of that Big Fat Arrow set, that some of them would play, and then some of them were region free, and some of them were region B locked. None of them would play in my player, so I had to rip all of them, convert them, and then watch them. And I honestly, I look, the first movie was okay, but I didn't care to watch anything else. I didn't care to. From everything that I read, the director's cut of Battle Royale, the first movie wasn't that great, and Battle Royale 2 wasn't that great. Period. Like director's cut or whatever, it's just not that good. So I was like, I'm ready to move on. I saw the movie. I'm glad I have it. I'm glad I own it, and it's definitely cool to see all of the all of the things that, you know, Player Unknown got for Battlegrounds, right? And the things that have kind of, if you're into battle royale games, you can see the, you know, sort of where they got some of those ideas. But the movie's not that great. So, meh. Meh. BMW 300 series, or I might go for an X1, which is the smallest SUV. They look they look nice, a little lowered. Yeah, I think the only BMWs that at least the current models that I like are I like the 4, I think, the 4 series. And I like the X3, I think it is. I can't remember. Honestly, I don't know what my next car will be. Because it's going to be a while before I get another car. Because I have a 2014 M235 that still runs great and is awesome and fun to drive. And I think it's April's turn next anyway. So there you go. I have a 2002 BMW and super fun to drive, but stuff breaks a lot and it's expensive to fix. Knights of Old, welcome, by the way. And hi, Phil. Who else did I miss? Anybody else new in? I don't think so. I think I got everybody. But hey, welcome. You're not wrong. Anything that you have to fix on a BMW, it's going to be expensive. So know that going in. And know that you shouldn't cheap out on things like the tires. Or, yeah. And I have to say, I mean, I've had Mitsubishis, I've had a couple of Volkswagens, and I've had a BMW. I've only owned a few cars in my life. I mean, God, I've had the BMW for probably the longest I've ever had a car. 7 years? Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it's expensive. It's expensive to work on them. It's expensive to have them fixed. It's expensive. The tires are more expensive. Everything's more expensive. So if you know that going in and, you know, you take care of it, you know, don't drive it in the ground. If it's time to get your oil changed, get your oil changed. You know, I take mine to the dealership and I have to say it's the best dealership or the best experience when it comes to having a car worked on that I've ever had. So I love my BMW, but I get it. It's an expensive purchase, and to get it worked on is even more expensive. So just as long as you know that, then go for it. But I kind of wish they weren't so expensive. But and it also, you know, you get an oil change and it's good for a year. So there's that too. 4K is region free. I completely forgot about that. Yes. So you can buy 4Ks from. I've purchased some from Europe. But of course, I bought some stuff from, like I said, Australia. But that doesn't really count because those were Blu-rays. So, but yeah, that's the thing, which is why everybody was saying, "Oh yeah, well, Godzilla -1, it's going to be in 4K in Japan. Who cares? I'll just import it." Yeah, but it doesn't have English subtitles. And so what I would have to do is I would have to rip the Blu-ray and then try to find subtitles out there on the internet and attach it and all that, which is not a big deal. But it takes away the fact that I'd be watching a 1080p version of it instead of a 4K version of it. You know what I mean? It's the whole reason I want it. I'm just hoping that when it comes to the US, we get a beautiful set and package like what Japan got, because I seriously have almost purchased that thing like 3 or 4 times and then go, no, it just doesn't make sense. I'd basically just be buying the packaging, and I'm not a huge Godzilla guy, you know? Like if I was a huge Godzilla guy, it would have been something I pre-ordered. Because if me, a non-Godzilla guy, looks at that and goes, yeah, I want that, I think most Godzilla fans would probably be like, oh my God, I gotta have that. It's such a beautiful set. I love it so much. A good set is really, really cool. It's one of my favorite things. I have some really cool sets. You know? My Zatoichi set is probably one of my favorites. It's up there on the thing way up there. You guys have seen it. But it's one of my favorites. A good set, man. It's good. Uh Kilroy was here is awful. I mean awful. Well, yeah, I don't care to see it, honestly. When I heard about it, I was like, yeah, I don't yeah. Yeah, Late Night with the Devil. I got Shudder for Flying Lotus's Kaiju, but not since. Well, there you go. There you go. Man, how am I so far behind already? Worse than Yoga Hoosiers? Hoosiers? I don't know. Sounds it didn't sound good when I don't remember what it's about, but it didn't sound good when I heard about it back then when it first was a thing. But hey, yeah. It's dumb you can only change it 4 or 5 times, then it's permanent. Oh, yes. I heard about that, but yeah, I've never done it. Didn't need to. It had Sora from Kingdom Hearts. Hmm. My sister bought a 2024 X3. It's nice but smaller inside than it looks. Huh. Because that's the whole thing, man. I love my car, but it is small. And for somebody who's, advancing in years as I am, it's pretty low to the ground. So it would be nice to be able to, just, like I'm driving, I'm done, turn off the car, and I just step out of the car instead of having to, get my knee up to get out of the car. Yeah, that's. And Robert Rivera, how's it going, buddy? How are you? I'm doing great. I mean, other than I'm still getting over that whatever sinus pressure or whatever allergies crap. And it's supposed to be stormy the next 2 days. And then I get to go down to Houston where it's super, super humid. Very excited. But look, here's the thing. I love Retropalooza. I love the experience. I love going and I love hanging out with guys and doing all the things. I love all that. I'm just not a fan of Houston as an area because it's close to the ocean and it's humid as hell. And I don't like it. I'm going to be drifting mine around. Luckily, I can do my own work on it. That's one of those things where I feel like I could do it. I could totally do it because I work on, I've worked on electronics before. I've fixed things before, but it's such a jump in knowledge base. Like I don't have any knowledge base to build off of. So no, not me. I take it in the dealership when something's wrong. So yeah, I can't go a year without changing oil. I do it every 3,000 miles, even with full synthetic. Well, that's the whole thing about BMW. It just doesn't need it. Why spend the money? You know? I want to see -1 again so bad. I haven't seen it yet. I still want to see it. So, yeah. All you got to do is simply just learn to read and understand moon language. Is that what it is? I stupidly assumed it was coming to the States, so I didn't pre-order it. Well, last I checked, it was still available to purchase. It's just, like I said, there's no English subtitles on it, which, yeah, it'll be slapped on a single disc with trailer and English subs. Yeah, probably, but, one can hope, right? I need new tires. What should I get? Oh, God, I don't know. I just get the same tires every time. What are they, Bridgestone? Um, and they're great, but they're expensive. They're like what, 350 a tire or something like that? 300, 350 a tire? I don't know, they're expensive. So, I'm a Cooper guy. Those have been my main go-to tires for years. Cooper's good. Um, I mean, my favorite tires for the longest time were Michelin's because they were 80,000 mile tires and you could drive and doesn't matter what, if it was raining, you could floor it and they would grip. I love those tires. But I mean, I can't say that I'm a tire guy, so I don't really know, but you get what you pay for with tires. Yeah, that is definitely something. To me it's like uh to me medications, tires, and TVs, really. You kind of get what you pay for, right? I mean, there's some things that you can cheap out on, but and I'm a bargain hunter, man. I just am. I love a good deal. But those are things that I do not cheap out on. So yeah. Your skin looks better than mine, and I get confused for mid-20s. So as far as your years, I think you're doing fine. Well, I think you, Rufus, but you know, and my dad doesn't look that old. You know, my dad doesn't look like he's in his 70s, but it's still one of those things where, you know, I try to take care of it a little bit, you know. But you know, I've got these things on my nose that I read that it's from like from drinking, like the burst blood vessels in your nose. And I'm like, I wasn't a drinker. And they said, well, it can also happen if you eat a lot of hot stuff. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I eat a lot of hot stuff. So maybe that's it. But yeah, I actually tried to look into, you know, I go to a dermatologist regularly because of my medication, so I don't get the skin cancer. And I asked, I was like, how expensive is it to have stuff like that fixed? And they were like, yeah, it's up there. It's up there. It's like $2 or $3 grand, blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay. Sounds like Auckland, sandwiched on an isthmus between two oceans, gets humid AF, to use the technical term. Yeah, that's what it is like in Houston, and it's just not my favorite. You know, it gets humid here too, here in the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex, but it's not as bad as Houston. Yeah. I can confirm that Japanese Godzilla -1 release does not have English subs. My Japanese friend confirmed this. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people have, especially if you watch shows like that Let's Get Physical over on Robert Ryan Burnett's channel. Dieter over in Germany imported the Japanese release and yes, showed it off. And I was just like, oh man, I love that. I love the way it looks, the way everything's packaged. It's awesome. But yeah, no English subs. All oil gets dirty, and I put a lot of miles on my daily drivers. That's true. I mean, I get that. See, I don't drive a lot. Especially, you know, in the last few years, I don't drive a lot. Most of my stuff is done here. So yeah, I get that. It's ugly humidity, but when you're closer to the ocean, it's way nicer. The cars be sweating. Unless you're Jacob, who pays nothing for TV since he gets them free from someone. Just looking on eBay, someone in the States has imported that Godzilla 4K from Japan and is asking $500. Yeah, it's easy to buy it. You know, you can buy it from someone in Japan, and I think I did the conversion, and I want to say it was like $95, which is not bad for that set, but it's a lot of money to spend on something that you can only watch in Japanese. So, how's the basement going? I don't know. I haven't been back over there since that video. He put that video out literally just a couple of days after we were there. So I do not know, and it's not like the only time I usually go over there to Melvors is when we're recording that. So yeah. Not too humid in AK today, thankfully. How's North Michigan been treating you lately? UK seller wants 100 pounds British sterling for -1. What is that like? Is that like $130? Which really isn't that bad, especially if you're in the UK and you're gonna get it from someone in the UK, you'll get it really fast. You know. I seriously, I was real close. I was really, really close. In fact, why don't I just -1 4K. See, here's one. What's the I mean, $90. But look at that set, man. That set is gorgeous. Oh, $20 shipping. And it's expedited shipping from outside the US. So, I mean, look. Dude, I want it. I want that thing, man. It's awesome. It's such a good looking set. Uh, I felt that Houston humidity for a weekend during my visit, kind of like Virginia weather, but less shade. Yeah, it's supposed to be hot this weekend too. It's supposed to be in the 90s, like 93, 94. So it's like, of course, that's what it's going to be here too, in Dallas Fort Worth. So I'm used to getting a look at a bunch of Blu-rays that most likely won't play on my PS5. Well, that's the way it goes. I rage when I'm too hot. It's better since ever since I had all my surgeries and stuff and lost a bunch of weight. The heat doesn't bother me as much, but the humidity is just like we were doing. We did 3.5 miles or 3.25 miles, 3.5 miles hike on Saturday here or Sunday, and it wasn't even that hot. It only got, by the time that we were done, it had only gotten up to 80, but we were right next to a lake, and it was just like, ugh. It's like walking through butter or something. It's just, ugh. It's gross. And I want a region flea. When I upgrade my because I'm going to upgrade my 4K or my 4K player at some point, because I think that problem that I had with the original Dune, where it just froze like maybe 30 minutes into the movie, I don't know if it's the disc or not, because it froze again when I watched Dune Part 2. So I don't know. I was all bitching at Arrow, but it may be the player. I don't know. Maybe I should put it. That's what I should do. I should just put it in the PS5 or the Xbox and see if it'll play there. I mean, yeah, it won't be in HDR and it won't, all that, but I could at least test it. I just don't think that I use that player that much, but it is a cheap player. It's one of the cheapest Sony players that you can get. I might not have should have cheaped out on it. Matt Walls, how is it going? Good to see you. I don't want to spend money on a whole nother player I won't use much. Well, I use mine a lot, and we got some new stuff that I'm going to be using it for, so take that. Y'all were smart to cut off the water damage parts. Well, that was them. That was all them. I didn't do much, to be honest. I got there, started getting set up for what we were going to shoot, and then all the work that was really done was done before we got there. And it's not something that, I don't know what I'm doing, so you wouldn't want me screwing things up. As a man of the sea, I don't mind the trade-off too much. Did the basement indeed smell like ass? Not really, but I think they'd been airing it out a lot, so it really didn't. I mean, other than, everybody else ripping ass when they're in there. You know what I mean? I mean, I do too. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, we all do, right? But it wasn't like this huge, like, oh my God, this smells like mildew and stuff. It wasn't that bad. Of course, they cut out a lot of that stuff and already hauled it off. So I don't know. Cherry chloroseptic. The sea is my true home. Wait on the English releases. It will come. Absolutely, Phil. And it may be one where I just buy it, depending on what's on it. I might just buy that one digitally, but I don't think so. I want a physical release, but I really want a nice one. And what I was thinking was, I'll buy the Japanese one, right? And then when there's an official English release, I'll just replace the disc in it. Problem solved. And I get the cool set and all that. But then I'm like, but why? I just can't do it. Can't do it. Aquaman was partially based on Ricky. Wow, look at that. What are you talking about? With this fish stuff. Whatever happened to that gaming chair? Oh, it's still sitting in there. And it's funny because it was probably 2 weeks after the last Retropalooza. I walked over there and I went, oh, I totally forgot about the gaming chair, and I'm sure, and I guess Ricky did too, because we never talked about it. But yeah, it's still sitting in there, and still in good condition and all that stuff. It's just not for me, not for me. But hey, why don't we? Let's see, Arlington. I need to pick it up next time. I mean, why not? It'll probably still be here. But I do want to acknowledge before we get too far into the show, 30 minutes in. Hey, that's how we do, right? But I do want to acknowledge Dabney Coleman. The passing of Dabney Coleman, died at 92 years old. For me, he was one of those staples of television and of movies and stuff like that. He was never, I never saw him in like a starring role, but he was always there. Like War Games, one of my favorite movies growing up. He was great in War Games. He's great in Cloak and Dagger, and then later on, he played Tom Hanks' dad in You've Got Mail. Loved him in that. I mean, he's very briefly in that. I loved him in that. And then the last thing that I saw him in, which is the last thing on his IMDb, was he was in Yellowstone, and he played John Dutton. So yeah, he's just one of those character actors that I think a lot of people just appreciate. And yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge good old Dabney Coleman. Good dude. I liked him. And then also, just look, we haven't done a whole lot of UFO talk on this show, and it's mainly because lately it's been a lot of just discussing the same stuff that we've already been discussing, and there's nothing really like solidly new and like, okay, here's a new element of the conversation. But I did want to bring this up for anybody who is interested. Lou Elizondo, which, if you know who Lou Elizondo is, he's one of those people, one of these sort of whistleblower types that has been in conversation or whatever. He's got his book coming out, Inside the Pentagon's Hunt for UFOs. It's coming out. And it is coming out. Does it say when it's coming out? No, but you can pre-order it now. I wonder, let's see if you click on it. August 20th. It comes out August 20th, $30 for the hardcover. I mean, I'm probably going to get this. If nothing else, just to have a bit of, I feel like it's a bit of history. A former senior intelligence official and special agent who was recruited in the strange and highly sensitive U.S. government program. He's going to say a lot of stuff. And this has been, I would say, cleared by the government, to release. That doesn't mean that they agree with everything in there, but it does mean that they have cleared it so that, he doesn't, get thrown in prison for the stuff that he said. So there's that. So there you go. I love You've Got Mail. You've Got Mail is one of my favorite. I mean, I'm not a big romantic comedy guy, but that movie is fantastic. To me, it's everybody talks about Sleepless in Seattle. No, Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan in You've Got Mail is a great movie. And Dave Chappelle plays Tom Hanks' friend in that movie. It's good. I've watched it recently. I love it. So there you go. 9 to 5. Yeah, 9 to 5. And see, that's one of those movies I never saw. I never saw it. So it did really well in the West. I hope they will replicate the Japan release. Oh, Phil, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. Let's see. I have a Sony 4K player. I also run into cases where after watching two 4K movies, it does start to freeze because I think the player's not cooling right. It does put out a lot of heat. Squiggles. Hey, Squiggles, how's it going? We'll see you this weekend. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. And maybe that's it. I don't know. Because it was toward the end of the movie for Dune Part 2. Huh. Interesting. Where's our UFO expert? Well, I mean, do I watch the Y-Files? Little Pee-wee, let me tell you this. I was over at Melvor's. We did a little bit of alien talk, and Melvor said, "Yeah, you need to give the Y-Files a shot." And I think Billy had said it too, and maybe it's just because somebody else said, "Yeah, you need to see that." I started watching it, and I watched every single episode. I love the Y Files. I look forward to it. It's great. Lou is a nut job, Phil? Well, I mean, maybe. Sure, he would say that helps him sell books. But see, that's the thing, Phil. Anybody that would do what he's done in his life for, I mean, basically give up his career for this, for a book deal, doesn't seem to equal out, you know? It's not like he's gonna get rich off of a book deal. But look, here's the thing. Everybody's, everybody should have a healthy bit of skepticism there. But yeah, I don't think selling books is the answer. You know what I mean? It's not like he's going to be Harry Potter off of this. You know what I mean? Or I should say J.K. Rowling off of this. This isn't going to sell 1 billion copies. So it's more about getting the information out there. He seems to be one of those people that, and again, seems, because I don't know. He seems to be one of those dudes that is tired of, he's just one of those people that's more about the truth. But he's not telling you the whole truth, guaranteed. Well, that's the thing. You don't have to buy it. And I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it just to check it out and see. But Lou hasn't been, to me, Lou doesn't have the same credentials. Or not credentials. There's something about Lou Elizondo that's kind of always made me kind of go, I don't know. But it does interest me. And for whatever reason, I've always thought that David Grush was a little more believable. And just the way that he discusses things is more believable to me. But none of us know. None of us know the truth. And it's, I don't know. It's one of those things, hey, same level as that Bob Lazar. I don't know about that. Bob Lazar, if somebody says that they don't believe Bob Lazar, you can look into his history, him being, arrested for things and, some weird things. Not weird, but just, strange things. I can kind of understand that. Lou Elizondo doesn't strike me as that odd. Bob Lazar strikes me as an odd guy. Like, he's just a weird guy. So. Let's see. Lou says he's been getting death threats or something. Says he's not suicidal if something happens to him. Yeah, I saw that too. What does that say? If I knew how to read, then I would buy the book. There you go. And Robert asks, have I gotten my tickets for Deadpool and Wolverine? Yes, I have, Robert. Yes, I have. And I don't know about you guys, but some of the best times on opening day, they're already sold out in my area. So I will just say, yeah, if you're interested in watching Deadpool and Wolverine on the day it comes out, which is actually July 25th, on that Thursday evening, you might want to look into it now, because 2 months early, screenings are selling out, which is crazy to me. It's crazy to me. So this movie is going to make bank. It just looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. And if, people talk about, the failing movie industry and all that kind of stuff, right? This is the kind of marketing you have to do. If you really want to be successful, you've got to tap into something and roll with it. Barbie did it. Oppenheimer did it. Now, I mean, people seem to embrace both of those movies together, even though they coming out the same day. I mean, but still, this is a situation where it's treated more like an event. And People responded by buying up a lot of things. So yes, I did buy mine. I'm excited. I do want to see it. Yeah, and if you're excited, you should do that too. Anything cleared by the government means a whole lot of half truths and lots of unanswered questions. Well, all that means is that, there are things that you can't say. If you have security clearance, right? There are things that you cannot say publicly, or they will put you in prison or other things. So you don't want to do that. So that entire book was cleared. So I don't know. I don't like You've Got Mail, but it is a great movie. Okay. Yeah, the Y-Files is awesome. It's so good. So good. I do believe there's intelligent life beyond our galaxy. There has to be. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a mathematical certainty, right? But the thing is, there are people that are used as, and this is the thing that we should all kind of keep in mind. The government has used people in the past to discredit the whole thing, right? And they've given misinformation on purpose. The truth is out there. X-Files. The truth is out there, but we'll see. But the thing is, it's like, who knows? Who knows? Maybe Lou Elizondo is completely on the up and up. He's telling the truth, at least from what he believes. Because that's the thing. It's like, if he was intentionally misguided, then he might be saying things that he believes are true that actually aren't true. But we'll see. And this, you're right. This book could be a complete bleh, and not even matter. But we'll see. We will see. Yeah, you don't know if they're holding back the truth either. Well, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, nobody knows. What about Furiosa, Knights of Old? Oh, I have my tickets for Thursday night for Furiosa. They did not do an advanced screening for that. Let me take that back. They did some early screenings, but they were for press. And you have to sign up for that kind of stuff. And I don't know at what point. Like, do I need a certain amount of subscribers before I can sign up to be like a movie critic? I don't know. It would be nice to be invited to these things. But I think you have to apply for that stuff. And then, yeah. Because, I'll tell you what. If I suddenly got a job where they were like, yeah, we want you to review these movies and we're going to send you stuff and all that stuff so you can basically be a part of the promotion and all that, I'd kind of be like, okay. Look at Serial at Midnight. It's a great example. I don't know if you guys follow him. I know Shozama. Hey, Shozama's here. Shozama is the one that, he's another one that sort of turned me onto that channel. I'd watched a few of his videos in the past, but Shozama really was talking him up. He's one of those people that some of his videos are basically commercials. They're basically commercials for the products that are coming out, the Blu-rays and the 4Ks that are coming out. And Kino Lorber just sends him stuff. In fact, a lot of I think it was Imprint, Radiance. I don't know which ones all send stuff to him, but I know that he gets a bunch of stuff just sent to him. And it's just, that's the way it goes now. Because he's established himself to be a member of the community that's going to talk about the stuff. So yeah, he just shows off that stuff. I watched a video, was it this morning? That was like an hour long. And it was just him showing off the Blu-rays that were sent to him and the DVDs and stuff. I would want to do that for theatrical movies. But I guess I got to sign up for that. I don't know. I don't know at what point. Maybe I should look into that. The Y-Files on repeat all through the night. Gertie and Hecklefish is the best romantic arc of our generation. I don't know about that, but I do enjoy Y-Files, but I also get, like, I was getting to the point where I was watching like 4 or 5 episodes a day. you know? So like talking like 4 hours of conspiracy theories and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm glad that I'm through them all because I need a break, you know? And so it's nice to have like a week break between episodes now. But yeah, freaking Y-Files. Anybody who's interested in that kind of stuff, man, the Y-Files is an amazing, amazing channel. So good. I'll just rewatch Barbie instead of watching another Ryan Reynolds movie since Barbie is good. But you don't know. Deadpool and Wolverine might be an amazing movie. And it's going to be an event. It's that's the thing. It's going to be an event. So, I'm excited for it. Who was the guy who said he saw a Walmart-sized UFO and alien beings? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I know that what's his face? Carl Nell did a thing today. Let's see. I have it pulled up in here, I think. Yeah, Carl Nell, retired Army colonel. Non-human intelligence exists. Non-human intelligence has been interacting with humanity. This interaction is not new and has been ongoing. Apparently, he had a talk today where he was talking about that stuff. It was on a live stream at this conference. And as soon as the live conference was over, it went private, which, you know, people were saying, why did it go private? Why did it go private? They're trying to hide something. It's like, no, I mean, there's a lot of people, a lot of channels. As soon as their live is over, the video goes away, you know, and it's unable to be watched again. But like what happens is, like, for example, the Game Chasers, when he's done with his stream, it just goes unlisted. But that's a setting on the background. And who knows? I mean, it may just, they picked it to be private or whatever. But people recorded it. People were live streaming it alongside and their reactions and all that kind of stuff. I haven't watched it yet, but there it is. That's out there too. So if you're interested in that. The more you know about history, the less you trust government. I mean, you know, I have security clearances, did some IT work for the government. Rob's right. Certain things you can't say. Pain in the ass at interviews when they ask what I did at these jobs. Can't tell them. Yeah. And I mean, that's one of those things where it's not even, see, some of that stuff you can dance around it, but it's all in the wording. And that's why, you know, it's taken so long for the government to clear this book, because he wanted to make sure that he was, you know, he did everything right and all that kind of stuff. But also, you know, it is going to be consumed by the public. So it needs to be on the up and up. But yeah, there you go. I can't trust you're telling the truth. 500 to 1,000 maybe? No idea. I don't know what that's for. Oh, 500 to... Oh, you mean... Wait, are you talking about for like subs? The whole thing? I can't remember what I was talking about. I like the Y-Files because he's kind of like, yeah, I don't know. Here's what I do. I don't buy it. You shouldn't either, but I don't blame you if you do. You see, what I like about him is there have been videos where I'm sitting there going, holy crap, this is amazing. And he goes... And then, like, you know, the video's almost over and he goes, so, is all this true? Well... And I'm like, okay, I like that. But he basically says, okay, here's how everything was presented, but here's the truth, right? And he goes, there's still some stuff that I don't get and could be true, but this is definitely not true. These are the facts. And that's what I like. It's coming at it from not a skeptic's point of view, but a literal, here are the facts. And if you have all the facts, then you can make a judgment call based on those things, and not hearsay and not things that, you know, people just say out of the blue, you know. Yeah. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes was bad ace. I'm hoping they end their 9-film plan with a remake of the original film. Ooh, that could be interesting. I love it, dude. I mean, the Caesar trilogy, I guess, was awesome. I really, really enjoyed that. It's one of those where I'm like, man, I'm kind of kicking myself for not watching those earlier. And then I really enjoyed Kingdom. I'm trying to think of how I would rank. I'll say this. The 2001 Planet of the Apes with Mark Wahlberg, it's at the bottom. Completely at the bottom. No question. I love the effects, the makeup and all that stuff was amazing. Rick Baker, I think. Amazing stuff. But the movie itself was kind of pupe. You know what I'm talking about? Not good. But I think Dawn is probably my favorite. And then Rise, and then Kingdom, and then War. but all of them are really good, like really good movies, you know? Because Rise was, man, I really, really enjoyed Rise. And just, I mean, that was just badass. That movie's great. So, signing and obtaining that UK clearance was a pain in the ass and stupidly in depth for something very boring, but it bought a house by the end of it. Well, there you go. Most of the folks dedicated to pushing the UFO agenda, Grush, Elizondo, Mellon, don't seem like grifters to me. And this is coming from probably one of the bigger skeptics in the chat. There you go. God, how am I so far behind? Bucho's a pretty, I mean, he's, again, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Bucho has reminded me of that multiple times, coming from my man Carl Sagan, you know, that saying. Yeah, Bucho's a skeptic, so I mean that says a lot, I think. AJ seems like a genuinely good guy. Yeah, yeah. But it is kind of funny because, you know, Billy was saying that he had a character in one of his videos that sounded a lot like Hecklefish, and he does his breaks, you know, where he's like, you know, the little stinger, right? The little ad break that he does. It reminds me of the Game Chasers, the way that he's edited those. So it is kind of interesting, but hey, what do you know? And I'm not saying AJ stole from the Game Chasers. I just said it's very similar. They seem like they legit believe that the paranormal supernatural explanations are the most probable. Deadpool and Wolverine is just another Ryan Reynolds movie, Rob. Yeah, but Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, I'm kind of down. Wraith, what's going on? Good to see you. I would say they're grifters, but if the stuff they are saying is cleared by the powers that be, I wouldn't really call them whistleblowers and truth tellers. Interesting. Yeah, I love Ryan Reynolds. I think he's great. I mean, he's definitely got that. Now, let me say, I don't want to just watch Ryan Reynolds be Ryan Reynolds in this situation, but Deadpool is kind of a different thing, man. It's just fun. You know, it's a fun time. I'm excited for it. Did I like the end of Shogun? Knights of Old. I was surprised that it ended the way that it did. I wouldn't say that I was disappointed with it, but I would say I was kind of like, oh, And you know what? Judging Shogun now, having watched it all the way through, if that's all they did, I'd be like, that was one of the best series I've seen in a long time. But now they're doing seasons 2 and 3, so I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. One very important thing to consider with what Grush and Elizondo have been clear to say is that if something is a fiction, that it won't be classified. That's yeah. And that's the thing, man. It's like if all this stuff is untrue and goofy and stupid and oh yeah, you're just making that up, then why is it classified? That's a very interesting thing. Yeah. Live files are very realist. Yes. What I love about UFOs caught on camera is that every single one is caught on a camera from the 1970s at 50 pixels. Well, Phil, try to take a picture of a plane flying over your house at night or during the day. It's a thing. It's just a thing. And like I've said many times, there have been times when I have seen something amazing and completely have forgotten that I have a camera phone in my pocket. It's just one of those things. So trust me, I get what you're saying, but I also understand the whole, like, oh my God, like, oh my, I can't believe I just saw that. And then, oh my, I have a camera in my pocket and I didn't even think about it. So have you seen that Amazon show Outer Range? Season 2 just dropped. I watched a few episodes and was kind of like, yeah, it's all right. And then I completely forgot about it. So no, I've only watched the first couple of episodes. And I found it strange. If the Fast movies would never end, then that would be better. I recommend hitting up the licensor Blu-ray companies like Shout, Kino, Umbrella, Indicator, Arrow, Vinegar Syndrome, etc. I think you will have a better chance with them than go for the majors. Absolutely, but again, my whole thing is I don't here's the thing. I don't want to be a storehouse for Blu-rays and 4K movies and DVDs that I'll probably never get to watch. Because that's the thing that Serial at Midnight keeps saying is that he's like, I've got all this stuff. I don't have time to watch it all. You know? And that's exactly how it would be with me. I mean, my watch list is insane and I have bought everything. So I can't imagine having just free stuff sent to me. What I'm talking about is, hey, we want you to come. I bought a ticket for Furiosa, right? It'd be nice for them to call up and go, hey, or email me, call up. Nobody calls anybody anymore. They email me and say, hey, Furiosa is coming out and we want you to be part of the press screening. Okay, cool. I was gonna buy a ticket, but hey, I'll go watch it. Yeah, and review it, get to review it early. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. So, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, like I said, it's Order 42 isn't the reason that I exist. You know what I'm saying? This is something that I get to do, have fun with you guys, all that kind of stuff. Do reviews every now and then. That's fun. But it's not where I want to, you know what I mean? It's not my whole thing. I'm writing. That's what I'm focused on. So yeah. Yep. Bucho, absolutely. Introducing the reasons for reasonable doubt. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is my favorite of the new films. Just blew my mind the first time I watched it. Right? It was so good. Dawn was because I'd watched parts of Dawn and I don't know why I didn't finish it. But yeah, what a great movie. You're kidding, Ricky. Marky Mark Planet of the Apes is your favorite next to the original, and I don't like the new ones? Wow. The Y-Files does some things that to me are a little shady. What's that, Carbonite? What's that? I'm kind of curious. That's what it was like for me digging into the Tic Tac story. When you only hear the tale as Fravor tells it, it's wildly compelling, but when you dig into it, there's some pretty big questions. Rank the Mad Max movies. Okay, well, I can't really do that because I've never seen Thunderdome. I'm watching Thunderdome tomorrow. And so yeah, I can't do that yet. I will say that having watched Mad Max and The Road Warrior, I kind of know what to expect from Thunderdome. And of course, Fury. I've seen Fury Road. Fury Road is insanely good. Mad Max is probably of the three that I've seen. Mad Max is the second one. And then The Road Warrior is third. I get why people love The Road Warrior. I do. But man, that first movie, there's something about it that's more, it's almost more, it feels more real, I guess. The Road Warrior is more like a comic book movie in a weird way, which is kind of like what Fury Road was. But Fury Road was just so insanely good. It has to be first. I say don't watch Thunderdome. Well, I kind of have to, I feel like. Now that I've finally gone back to watch Mad Max and The Road Warrior, I feel like I have to complete the original trilogy and watch Thunderdome. I've heard some bad things about it, trust me. But I still want to watch it. But, so there you go. Road Warrior, Thunderdome, Fury Road, Mad Max. See, Ricky's exactly the opposite of me, pretty much. I got to the end of my second Red Dead Redemption original today, cried a bunch, liked way too much. You ever play either game? I've tried. I just couldn't get into them. It's just not my style of game. It just, I don't know, it just didn't do it for me. But it's one that I've always wanted to do. But again, it's also finding that time to do that. I don't stream gaming. I don't, and lately what I've been doing is, other than trying, finishing the script, it's just been, I've been reading a lot. So playing video games has taken a back seat to everything else. So it's almost like reading is number one, movies are second, and video games is third. And video games, like I'll play, a round of Vampire Survivors or something. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? So no, I haven't played this. I've been playing it all week long. Outer Range is basically about a hole into the future. That's what I've heard. But yeah, I'm kind of curious about what shady things Carbonite is saying. I'm sure it's down here. Outer Range is weird. Not sure if I like the characters. Outer 42. Who do you want to email you? The studio? Don't you just apply for that? I think what you do is you have to apply for some sort of press thing and then get on their lists. I don't know how that works, but it would be nice if that was a thing. Yeah, Bucho's a good look. I mean, look, here he is. There's Bucho right there. Bucho is an OG Order 42 fan, which he was a fan before it was Order 42. He was a switched on fan back in the day. So yeah. Bucho's on Rob's stream. Hey Rob, show them Bucho is there. Oh, I showed him. Ricky's just being Agamemnon about the Planet of the Apes. Maybe, yeah. They just have scam advertisers like the Scottish Lord titles, and then when called out, AJ yells at the guys for trying to take money away from him, plus they use a lot of AI art. Well, the AI thing, I definitely have I get what you're saying there, but I almost give them a pass because that's not the important part of it. You know what I mean? It's like what he's saying. I mean, most of the things that I watch with him, I mean, seriously, the reason that I watch it is to listen to it, which I should be listening to that podcast, right? Redacted or whatever it's called. I want to listen to that. I haven't had time for it. So there you go. If Mad Max had better pacing, I'd say it's the best. Yeah, I get that, but I actually really enjoyed it. And it was freaking wild to see 23-year-old Mel Gibson? That's amazing. Thunderdome is okay. Tina Turner, that midget riding on the shoulders of that giant dude. Yeah, see, I don't know anything about it. I mean, other than I knew Tina Turner was in it. Middle part was boring. Road Warrior and Fury Road were the best. Okay. I just don't care for the new ones. You all know that whenever you watch them all at the house. I need to make reading number one for a bit. It's just, dude, man, there's nothing like it, man. There's just nothing like it. It's kind of like, okay. So to me, watching, and this is just kind of how I try to describe the way that I see it. So when I watch a movie, it's a very passive experience. You're watching the things happen, right? Books are like movies, but you're the director and you get to hear the inner monologue. You get to know the characters very, very, very well. And I mean, it depends on the writer, but you get a view of the action that's more in depth than you get when you watch a movie. A video game, most video, at least, and again, it's different for everybody, but for me, a video game is a movie that you take part in, but there's a gameplay loop in most games, most every game. There's a gameplay loop where the story isn't as important. And every now and then the story becomes a focus. But it's more about the gameplay loop than it is about the story. You know what I'm saying? So for me, for somebody who loves storytelling, movies are great because it's a more passive experience. And I can just kind of shut my brain off and engage, let the movie think for me. And I can just watch the movie or TV show and watch it. But for me, the reading is where I really get a lot of enjoyment from reading because I'm the director and I get to see it the way I think it should look, the people, the whatever, and it's it's yeah. So yeah, I love it, and I got to tell you, man, if you're a fan of the movie Heat, 1995 Heat, I'm telling you, check it out from the library, buy it from Amazon, get the Kindle version, whatever. Heat 2, the book that came out last year, is freaking awesome because it reads almost like the way Michael Mann directs and the way that he presents stuff. It's fantastic. And it goes from, it jumps time, you know. It starts off and it's right after the movie. And you're following Chris Hurlis, right? Val Kilmer's character. What's going to happen? Whatever. Then you go back in time to 7 years prior and get to go on a stakeout with the boys, right? And then you go back, and it's just I'm just telling you, it is freaking awesome. It's a little Phil, it's a little bit of everything. But I'm telling you, if you enjoyed the movie Heat, and I'm not just talking about the big shootout in the middle of the city, and I'm not just talking about, you know, Al Pacino going, she got a great ass and all that shit. I'm just saying, did you enjoy the movie and the way it's presented, the characters, the way that the story plays out and everything? If you enjoy that, this is like reading. It's like continuing the movie, and it's awesome. It's awesome. It's so good. I'm telling you, it is. I'm incredibly impressed on it, with it. I'm 68% in, I think. So it's really cool. It's really cool. Bonello Juice, what's going on? Good to see you. Let's see. Bucho's an ace cube. I mean, look, Bucho. Look, we can get some Bucho love in here. He's awesome. Babyface Mel Gibson before the drinking. Yeah. Wraith and Lil Pee-wee are excellent judges of character. I've always said that. Yeah, Bucho can go to Hobbiton pretty much anytime he wants. If I could erase Thunderdome from my memory, I'd do it. Wow. Okay. Wow. That's some stuff, Knights of Old. Let's see. Come on over. We can head down to Hobbiton together. Oh man. I would love it. Heat 2 Electric Boogaloo. And here's the thing. Heat 2 added to my Audible library, had some credits. Now here's the thing, Phil. I will say this. I listened because through Amazon, I don't know if they just started doing this or not, but I think it's kind of awesome. If you buy the Kindle version, you can buy, like, for example, I think I got Heat when it was on sale. Like, it was really cheap, right? But like, I bought Elantris, Brandon Sanderson, the first Brandon Sanderson what do you call it? Wheel of Time book. It's the first time I'm reading a Brandon Sanderson story, and really enjoyed it, by the way. But for $7.50, it would add the audiobook. I was like, okay, let's try it out. So for Heat, I was like, I had already bought it like a long time ago, and I just haven't gotten around to reading it. And I was thinking, let's listen to the audiobook and see if it's worth maybe just buying that separate. And I started listening to it, and I was like, dude, this guy reads so freaking slow. So freaking slow. So I don't know. I hope you like it, though. I hope people enjoy it. All I can say is that I have just, to me, it's like, it's almost like getting to sit down with Michael Mann as he describes to me the next parts of the story. And it's awesome. It's just great. It's just so good. Did you love The Thing? And if so, how was the recent prequel, sequel, remake? Knights of Old, I love the original. Okay. The John Carpenter The Thing, I love. I remember, I think seeing the original, the thing from another world or whatever, and being like, it's fine. But I typically don't enjoy that style of sci-fi, the 1950s, you know what I mean? That kind of cheesy sci-fi is just not my thing. It's just not my thing. But I love the John Carpenter one. I've never seen the new one with Mary Elizabeth Winstead and all that stuff. I haven't seen that one yet. But I kind of want to see it just out of curiosity. But when are you going to see Furiosa? It's 6:30 Thursday night. So this Thursday. I'm surprised nobody's asking about Garfield. Why aren't y'all asking about, hey, are you gonna, are you going to? And what Campia say today? He said maybe it'll be like Barbie and Oppenheimer, Garfield and Furiosa, and they said Puriosa, which I thought that was kind of funny. But no, I don't give a shit about Garfield. I'm sorry, I just don't. I just don't. I know what that movie's gonna be. That movie is gonna be, hey, here's your standard animated movie, your standard animated story, but we're using an IP that was famous back in the 80s, late 70s, 80s. The Troll Book Fairs. Remember those, in elementary school? I don't know if everybody called them the same thing. That's what I remember. And I remember buying my Garfield books, and I love my Garfield books. But yeah. The Thing is an all-time classic. 2011 was a prequel. It wasn't bad at all. It's just not as good as the original. Knights of Old. Some audiobooks use AI too, and it sounds terrible. Yeah, I've never read. If it's AI, I won't listen to it. And can't you increase audiobook speed? Yes, Carbonite, but then it starts, depending on the reader, if they're reading too slow, it can actually sound more like, it just sounds, there's breaks in it because it's compressed so much. So yes, I read at an advanced speed. Typically I read at 1.5 or 1.75, but Elantris that I just read, I had to read that at 2.25 speed because the dude read so freaking slow. So I don't like that. I don't like having to have them read it so fast because I read fast. When I'm just reading, I read fast, but then because I'm ADHD or whatever, I'm constantly getting disconnected from it, right? The audiobook helps me lock in because I'm reading along with what they're saying. But if they're reading too slow, then I read ahead and then I'm like, wait, where am I? And then I go back and then I'm disconnected. Oh, this is like the time when, I dropped the toilet paper and it rolled away and I had to, I had poopy butt and I had to try to wait a minute. Wait, I'm reading. Wait, what? I've never actually done that. It's just something that I came up with. Do you believe that? Anyway. 1980s original is what I meant. Yes, it's definitely a good. Thing prequel, the Thing prequel is a solid movie. Could have been even better without studio interference. And yeah, on Audible you can definitely do that. Because that's where I bought it. Whoa. I actually want to see Garfield. Well, Rafe, I mean, I'm Garfiosa. Yeah. I mean, look, it just doesn't, I look at that and I go, yeah, that looks like a Minions movie. It looks like the Troll movies, right? Or whatever, right? Whatever, Paw Patrol. It looks like that same style of movie that I feel is very cookie cutter and has not a whole lot of substance to it. Yeah, it's Chris Pratt voicing it. Yeah, it's going to be whatever. I don't care. But I hope that it does well. I hope that every movie does well because I want theaters to stay open. The prequel still holds its own. It's not bad at all. I haven't been to a movie opening weekend for ages, but I'll be there for Furiosa this weekend. Bucho, I like what you're saying. I mean, I wish you watched more movies, but I get it. I understand. And especially after the whole disease that should not be named, I get it. The studios have basically conditioned us to expect things. I mean, for crying out loud, I just reviewed The Fall Guy. It just came out, and 2 weeks later, it's already on digital. I mean, I get that maybe it's like, well, this movie kind of tanked, so we gotta try to recoup our costs, our advertising costs. Maybe if we put it out on digital, maybe we'll get more people to watch it. Okay, I understand. But now you've conditioned people to say, well, if we don't go watch it in the theater, they'll just put it out on digital, and then we'll get to watch it at home for the same price as going to the movie. Well, stop it. So anyway, go watch a movie if you can. What about the Alien prequel movie, Prometheus? I like the new Blade Runner, but don't consider it canon. Knights of Old, that's a lot. That's a big question. Because here's the thing. There is an argument to be made that the only good Alien movies are Alien and Aliens. But there are things about Alien 3, especially the assembly cut, that I absolutely adore. I love how it's like, it's a different style than Ridley Scott, but the violence is still really visceral and almost shocking. And I love that about it. And I love the way that it's shot. It's David Fincher. I love the choices that he makes. The story. And people are pissed, Oh, they killed off characters. I get it. I understand. When you say that you don't like Alien 3, I get it. But I love Alien 3. Alien Resurrection, most of that movie is kind of crap. But I have to admit that I like some parts of it. Okay? I do. I like some parts of it. And Prometheus and Alien Covenant, they're just messy. They're really messy. But I will defend Prometheus until my dying day. Why would a scientist take off his helmet? I get it. I understand. Why would a scientist pet something that obviously looks dangerous? I get it. I understand. Some of the actors are really unlikable. I get it. But that movie is beautifully shot. Beautifully shot. I love the way it's composed. And again, when the violence happens, it's visceral, it's scary, it feels threatening. I love it. It's gory. I love it. I love it. I love it. Covenant, same thing. Almost the exact same thing that you say about Prometheus, you could say about Covenant. Still, there are things about it that I enjoy. Oh God, I love some things about it. I've told the story about in Prometheus. I went and saw that opening night, and in the surgery scene, you know what I'm talking about. If you've seen Prometheus, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The pod that Noomi Rapace has to get in, right? During that scene, a person behind me had a seizure. And so while I'm watching this extremely intense scene in a great theater with great sound, all of that stuff, suddenly there's commotion and a guy is having a seizure behind me. I'm pretty sure the guy's fine. But it was because of all the flashing lights and all that kind of stuff, right? It added to the atmosphere. The holy crap, what's going on? I mean, I get chills just thinking about it. It added to the experience, and it was awesome. I can't shake that. And guess what? That's never happened ever again, right? I've never watched Prometheus again and anyone had a seizure sitting behind me. It's never happened again, but it is cemented. It is part of that movie and the way that I think about that movie now. And it always will be. I will remember that. If you bring up the movie Prometheus, it's the first thing that I think of. And how intense it was and how it was just like an amazing experience. Now I know someone having a seizure in a movie is probably not the best thing to, whatever, but it added to the experience is all I'm saying. I remember the first Dark Knight screening. I remember The Matrix. opening night. I remember Mission Impossible opening night. The first Mission Impossible. I remember all of these movies, and it's because they were experiences. They were events, and you can't get that from watching it on a phone. You can't get that from watching it, whatever. I understand. And people are like, yeah, but I don't want to go to the theater. Yeah, but you're missing out on that communal experience that can, not every, movie is going to be like this, but you go to the movie theater and if you have the right people with you, if you have the right experience, it can change the way that you feel about that movie. It can accentuate the power of movies, which I love. So anyway, do I consider it canon? I mean, they're such a mess. I don't know. I don't really know, and I don't really think of them that way. I almost think of them as like a side story. I always think about the regular runs on a comic run, and then you get these offshoot stories that really have nothing to do with the main storyline, but they're just kind of another story told. It's kind of how I look at them. I don't care about canon that much. Star Wars has taught me to be able to separate things that are supposedly canon from the actual canon in your head. And you just go, I'd just rather not think about that part of it. I'd rather not think about the sequel trilogy anymore. I mean, it's an unhappy experience now thinking about that. But with Prometheus and Covenant, there are still things that I really enjoy about them. With all their faults, they have an extreme amount of faults. But that's the way I look at it. Now, Blade Runner, I love Blade Runner, and I love Blade Runner 2049, and I have no problems having them in the same universe, in the same storyline, the same canon, whatever if you want to call it that. I love 2049, like with a passion, but I also love the first movie with a passion. So, which is funny because I remember the first time I watched Blade Runner, I was like, okay, I mean, I get it, but I get why people like it, but it's fine. But then something clicked. And it made me realize that, oh my God, some of my favorite movies are Ridley Scott movies. So there you go. And I love the fact that Ridley Scott has done so many different genres of films. I mean, you could say that about a lot of the greats, right? Martin Scorsese's done kids movies. He's done crazy, movies. He's done faith-based movies. Not really faith-based in the same sense of, But I mean, he's done a lot of different styles of movies. Martin Scorsese is a master. Spielberg, a master. Christopher Nolan. Can't really call him a master yet. But he's done some radically different movies. He's done some really interesting ones. But you can't call him a master yet. What I would like to see from Christopher Nolan is I would like to see and I don't care about genre. I don't care about genre. You can do whatever genre you want. But I would like to see him work on his characters more. Because I still feel that the guy, I don't know how I got to talking about Christopher Nolan. Maybe I'm just talking about people that I think are great. Ridley Scott, to me. Ridley Scott is mostly about the feeling. But Christopher Nolan is all about the plot. He's a plot-heavy guy. And I get that. I appreciate it. But I wish he would work on his characters more. Anyway, I need to move on. But I hope I answered your question. Because, holy crap, it's already 8:30. We haven't even gone into the purchases. Scholastic book fairs. There you go. Got to go look at Vehicle. Good night, guys. Much love to all. Lil Pee-wee. I mean, that was probably 20 minutes ago. But I hope you're okay. And I hope you enjoyed yourself. Thank you. I want to go. Okay, we'll go. I can't hear audiobooks at 1x. My mind wanders too quick. That's me. But see, I'm reading along with it too, which helps me stay locked in. But does Chris Pratt even try to sound different for Garfield? I know he's no Lorenzo music, but put in some time of effort. I think from what I've heard, the reviews so far, it sounds like Chris Pratt is just basically doing Chris Pratt. I'm playing Red Dead 2 right now. There you go. Red Dead 2 is a vibe like no other. The dude reading Heat 2 as I am listening, read slow but is good. Speeding up helps. Yeah, all I heard was the sample and was like, holy crap, dude. And it's just, I can't even impersonate it. It was so slow. Like here's I feel like I never really used to do the 1.5 times or 1.25 times, whatever. I used to never do it, but now that I do, now that I've started doing that, when I'm doing my reviews, I can't listen to myself at 1x. I can't. I have to listen to it 1.5. So there you go. Why would one want to watch a movie at home for the same price as going out? People do it though. People do it. And I mean, here's the thing. You don't have to buy popcorn. You don't have to buy the drinks. You don't have to get a babysitter. You could pause it whenever you want, go to the bathroom. I understand the reasoning, but for me, I love the movie experience. In reference to digital, Bill, I think hopefully we're agreeing on the theater experience. I don't need Nicole Kidman telling me as I'm sitting in the theater that, you know what? Being in a movie theater is better than being at home to watch a movie. I just don't understand that. Why waste the money? Why waste the money promoting movie going as a thing that is important culturally, community wise, all of those things? Why waste the money on telling people that are already there? You need to be telling the people that aren't there. Whatever, though. It's cheaper for me to watch in theaters Discount Tuesday compared to digital new release price. Absolutely, Shozama. And it's not like they're taking the Fall Guy out of theaters yet. They're just going ahead and releasing it digitally. And I mean, it's available right now. But it's still like, it's kind of a bummer. And now, here's the thing. And I want to be very clear here. I thought I was pretty clear in my review, but maybe I'm second guessing myself. The Fall Guy is not a movie that, in my opinion, I'm going to buy on Blu-ray or 4K. It's not. I enjoyed the movie. I really enjoyed it. But I don't need to see it again. That's not a movie that I want to see again. But it's still like, I'm glad that movies like that exist. And there's going to be people out there that watch that movie and get inspired. They're going to love that movie. And it just sucks that it's not getting a chance to find an audience in the theater. I don't know. 1440p widescreen, best it can offer. Take it or leave it. I liked Alien Resurrection. It was fun. I mean, it's fun, but it's also kind of dumb too, But by the way, I do have things to show off, so I do want to get to that here in a minute. I like the director of Alien 4. Ever see City of Lost Children or Amelie? Dude, Amelie is, if you have never seen Amelie, Amelie, seek it out. I'm telling you, it is a wonderful movie. They just recently released it again on Blu-ray. And I don't own it. I thought I had the DVD for it, and I don't. So I don't know if I just never bought it or what. I don't know. But I'm buying that Blu-ray. It's on my wish list on Amazon. I'm buying that thing. It's going to be mine. It's a fantastic movie. It's so great. So yes, Knights of Old. Yes, I have. I don't know if I ever saw City of Lost Children, but Amelie was amazing. First time I saw Ron Perlman besides Beauty and the Beast show. Didn't know it was him. Oh, okay. I still remember BC. Welcome. Good to see you. I still remember Jurassic Park opening back in 93. Mind-blowingly fun ride that movie was. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that first screening too. I remember sitting there being a little irritated that they cut out so much from the book. That was before, I mean, I was what, 17? I would have been 17 when that movie came out. And I remember just being amazed at what I was seeing, but at the same time being upset that it was like, he took this really smart, Spielberg, took this really, really smart concept and all this really cool science, and then he turned it into a freaking chase movie, and I was like, damn it. But oh well. It's still an amazing movie. My current monitor is 3440 by 1440, but I ordered a super ultra wide one. Even though it's 3840 by 1080, it's still a glorious 43.8 inches. And look at there, Carbonite says 2049, better than the OG. George Miller is all over the place too. Yeah, Mad Max to Happy Feet. Yeah, I know. Which is just nuts. Come on. I hate it when I need to. Can I lock this? Dock settings. I hate that it changes to the bottom of another screen. Position on screen bottom. Double click a window. Minimize windows. No. No. I'm sure there's a way to do that. I don't know. Who cares? You know, being in a movie theater is better than being at home. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Alien Resurrection is my favorite one. You got to be kidding, Ricky. You've got to be kidding. And what GPU do you have to power those pixels? Well, while y'all are discussing that, let me show you a couple of things that I got this week in the old Amazon box of stuff. First up, this is a movie. It's one of the first horror movies, anything horror, that I ever saw. And it's one of those that I've had on my like thinking, I gotta get that. And I finally just went ahead and got it because I want to watch it. Like I want to watch it again. Now this is going to be one of those that you're going to be like, oh yeah, I don't know, maybe so, maybe not. Salem's Lot, basically a TV miniseries with David Soul. Yes, Starsky or Hutch, I can't remember which one, but yeah, David freaking Soul. There he is on the side there. Directed by Tobe Hooper, of course, based on the book by Stephen King. James Mason's in it. Bonnie Bedelia. Bonnie Bedelia is one of those actresses that has always been cute. And I've always kind of had like a little bit of a crush on her. And it may have started with Salem's Lot. I don't know how old she was in this. But anyway, this is, shot on film, but 4:3. So they have it on Blu-ray, and it actually looks really good. It's in 4:3, but it actually looks really good. But when you talk about vampires, this is what I think of. Vampires haven't been scary in years. I think they need to be scary again like this. And yeah, the book is great. Yeah, they need to be scary like this. So anyway, reading it, watching it. I'm going to watch it. The next thing is something that I actually mentioned before. I finally got it. The James Bond collection. Now, before you get too excited, I want to show you something. Can you see the damage to this box? There you go. You can really see this thing has been through the ringer. Bumped. I mean, I don't know if this was, I feel like it was used, but it's not. It wasn't used. It's just, the box is in terrible, terrible, terrible shape. But considering that this is like $90 right now, and I got it for $40, I kind of have to be okay with it. Now, this includes everything except No Time to Die on Blu-ray. Now, you'll remember that I have the old 4-volume DVD Bond set. This is no frills. There's no extra little pieces of paper. There's no little booklets. There's no extra discs. It's literally just pretty much the movie. It's the same content that was on those previous DVDs. They're just on Blu-ray now. And the movies, Believe it or not, I tested all of these and they're great. They look fantastic. They look so much better on Blu-ray. I'm really glad that I got these for basically under $2 a piece. So yeah, of course, that's how it's broken up, 62 to 77. Those are the movies there. And then, of course, the next set, the next 10 movies are there. And then the last 4 Daniel Craig movies are there. Of course, I've got No Time to Die on 4K. I actually own all of these. This whole thing is just extra because I have the Blu-rays for those. But this is what I was really wanting. Is the original, the pre-Daniel Craig Bond movies on Blu-ray. I got it. I'm very happy with it. Even though, like I said, this box is in terrible shape. Like, I don't know if they dropped it. I don't know what happened. But this box is not in great shape. But the discs are fine. So there you go. Filbert, how is it going? Good to see you. And again, I've been thinking about your comment on, was it last week? Was it last week's show? Or was it in a comment? I can't remember now. But yeah, just, you saying that I'm like the Bob Ross of movie reviews. I was like, you know what? I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Just chill, I like that. I like that. Positive thinking, I like that. So anyway, this Bond set, like I said, I tested each one by putting them in the player, hitting play, watching a little bit of the beginning going, oh wow, that looks a lot better than my DVD, and then fast forwarding all the way through it. And they say, as long as you can fast forward all the way through it without it hanging up, you should be good. And all of them play fine. They look great. I'm just excited. I'm excited that I have the Bond films on. And here's the funny thing. I haven't watched like an older Bond film in a long time. Like, it's not like I'm going to watch these tomorrow, or anything like that. I'm just glad I have them. And again, the deal was so good. $40 for that box set for 24 movies? To basically upgrade my DVDs to Blu-ray for $2 a piece? No brainer. Oh, Discord. That's what you did. Sorry. I couldn't remember where exactly you said it, but I just remember going, wow, what a nice thing to say. I appreciate that. Everything you show, I will buy, Rob. Salem's Lot and Amazon Basket. Look, I don't know if everybody loves Salem's Lot, but it's one of those that there are 2 scenes that will haunt me forever. One of them is actually, wait a minute, 3 scenes. Father Callahan being called teacher. Remember that scene? If you've seen this, you know what I'm talking about. The window scene. Mark, let me in. Oh man, chills, man. I can feel it. And then Mark is standing by a door and they're crawling behind him and you can see their eyes. Oh, it's creepy stuff, man. Creepy stuff. I love it. Make vampires scary again. That's what I say. Make them scary. Make them animalistic. Do it. The used and abused copy, yes. But it is a nice collection. But like Shozama has the, he showed off his Bond set. It only has 23 movies, but it came with an extra disc. And it was more of like an introspective about Bond and stuff like that. And I'm like, they could have thrown in that disc in here. Come on. Why? Why not? But I kind of get it too, But I'll tell you, I love that set. I love the DVD set because, you know, it's 2 disc and all that, and the way that it's set up is really nice. But I love the animated menus and all that stuff. It's a great set. I mean, this really is a fantastic set. I just wish it didn't look like, you know, somebody wrote a check on it or something. You know, look at that big ass gouge right in the middle. This looks like it's been, like I just pulled it off my shelf. Like I've owned this for years and, you know, through a couple of moves and something like that. No, this was purchased from Amazon. This is the exact quality in which I received it. No frills. I mean, there's all the movies included. It's an amazing set. Like I said, I just wish that they treated the box with a little more respect. But since I don't really care, for some reason, this set, I don't really care. My original DVDs are in, I mean, those boxes are in perfect condition. Those are fine. I'm fine with that. This one, I don't really care. But yeah. I have that Bond collection. Went to Hard Bodies before it got to you. Oh yeah. Jimmy Bond? Jimmy Bond. Wow, Cosma. So you're pulling out the Lone Gunman reference? Good old Jimmy Bond. If you've seen the Lone Gunman, the series, you know who Jimmy Bond is. I enjoyed that movie. And yeah, no, it doesn't have Casino Royale. It doesn't have, and I'm talking about the Peter Sellers. Peter Sellers? Isn't that who's? Anyway, the Casino Royale that came out, it was more of a spoof movie. No, that's not included. Never Say Never Again is not included either. I actually watched Never Say Never Again for the first time not too long ago, and just thinking, okay, so this is Sean Connery coming back to the role after 12 years, right? Diamonds Are Forever was the last one he did in 1971. He comes back in 1983 and does basically an unofficial remake of Thunderball. And I watched it and went, this isn't very good. It's not very good. It's not my favorite. So I'm kind of glad that it's not official, but you know. James Bond collection, check. Yeah, okay, so here's a question for you. For you guys. Because I already know the answers to these. At least my thing. Who is your favorite Bond actor? Now, all kinds of things can be thrown in there, right? Like who's the most accurate to the original version of the character? There's plenty of people that believe a certain thing. Is it somebody who's the most fun? So basically what I would like to hear from you is who's your favorite Bond actor and why? Like, why is it that you enjoy Roger Moore as your favorite? Or why is Sean Connery your favorite? Or why is Daniel Craig your favorite? Or Pierce Brosnan or whoever? George Lazenby even. Maybe George Lazenby is your favorite. Maybe Timothy Dalton's your favorite. Tell me why. I'm curious. Because I love the fact that we each one, I mean, except for Owen. Except for George Lazenby and Timothy Dalton, they didn't really get the time to make really good or bad movies. You just kind of have what you have. So, yeah, I will tell you that in my opinion, the actor that gets, and it's really mainly because of one movie, which is kind of unfair, but I think that Pierce Brosnan in GoldenEye is the perfect Bond for that movie and for how I envisioned Bond should go forward. Daniel Craig is too sour, and he actually kind of, it's something that I can't remember who said it, but they basically said that Daniel Craig plays Bond like he doesn't enjoy being Bond. Pierce Brosnan enjoys being Bond, but he can be serious, he can be intense, he can do action, and he can do the suave, sophisticated, charming Bond. Sean Connery kind of got goofy. And I need to watch some of the earlier ones. Like I've only seen Dr. No and From Russia with Love like a couple of times. So they're not like ingrained in my head like some of Roger Moore's or Pierce Brosnan's are. You know what I mean? But to me, that's the way that Pierce Brosnan acts in Goldeneye is kind of the perfect Bond for me. Unfortunately, he had 4 other movies after that. 4? Goldeneye, Tomorrow Never Dies. Goldeneye, Tomorrow Never Dies, World Is Not Enough, Die Another Day. Okay, so he only did 4. He did 4 movies. And those other 3 movies are kind of bad. Goldeneye is pretty damn solid. And it's part of it is because he's surrounded by incredible actors. Incredible actors. Sean Bean, Famke Jensen. Great stuff. But that movie's great. That movie's great. And I think that he fits what I think Bond should be. It is a weird one. Some people love it. I think the story around Never Say Never is more interesting than the movie. Yeah, and that's, I mean, and look, there are plenty of movies that are like that for me. Like Citizen Kane is a good movie, but what makes it great is, or what makes it just kind of like, wow, is the way that it's shot and the story behind it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I totally get that. Sean Connery, he started it all and had the best run of the Bond movies. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And I love Sean Connery too. I think Roger Moore is the cheesiest, but Timothy Dalton might be my second favorite after Pierce Brosnan. And again, it's almost unfair for me to even include Pierce Brosnan because he only has 1 out of his 4 movies are good. Timothy Dalton, both of those movies are pretty damn solid, but he also he's not as playful. He's more serious, but he's not as playful. He's more playful than Daniel Craig is. But he's also, and this might be unfair, but he also doesn't look, he's not a great looking guy. Like Pierce Brosnan, to me, has the entire package. He's a great looking guy. He could be sexy, charming, funny, serious, and he can do action. Goldeneye shows all of that. Man, watch Goldeneye again. Man, that movie's great. The movie's a really good movie. But yeah. I grew up with Pierce, but in my opinion, Daniel Craig is the most interesting Bond, so I enjoy him the most now. See, and to me, I really enjoy Daniel Craig, but he's so damn sour all the time. You know, it's like he doesn't enjoy the thing that I think the character of Bond, and this is kind of unfair because I've never read the books, but the thing that to me that I think Bond should be enjoying himself a little bit, you know? He's kind of like, hey, I got the coolest job in the world, and it's literally kind of like Austin Powers, where, you know, men want to be him, women want to be with him. But yeah, Dalton is very, very underrated. Pierce Brosnan was my era, and that's what I grew up with first. I didn't see the old ones till later, so I guess I'm biased. I'll tell you this. I heard someone say your favorite Bond will be the first one that you ever saw in a theater. And I think that makes sense for some people. Like my first Bond movie that I saw in a theater was Goldeneye. But the first Bond movie I think I actually ever saw was For Your Eyes Only with Roger Moore. So 1980. 1991. I saw that one. I saw Octopussy a lot. And I saw A View to a Kill a lot. But Roger Moore is cheesy compared to pretty much any of the other ones. But the funny thing is I still like him. You know, I still like all the Roger Moore Bond movies. So Let's see. I always heard George Lazenby was the most accurate to the books. I've never read the books though. Yeah, me neither. My introduction to Bond was Roger Moore, so I have a soft spot, and then Connery, and my least favorite was George Lazenby. See, I just think that's fascinating how everybody is just all over the place. Dr. No is amazing. Give it another watch. It's a top 5 Bond movie for me. The Bond that wows me in the theater is the one I like. It needs to be big event and great story. Mission Impossibles and Bourne movies raise the bar too high for Bond. I mean, I'll agree with that, but there's nothing like a good Bond movie. Like the Mission Impossibles always feel like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't have a love of the Mission Impossible series, even though they're fantastic. Some of those movies are fantastic. And the Bourne movies, some of those are fantastic. But I don't have a soft spot for them like I do for Bond. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I love Bond, you know? What I like about Craig was he played Bond as if he had some PTSD, which I think a Bond would, though I get people who like the more superhero comic version and like more or Brosnan more. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's what I love about GoldenEye is you see a little bit of everything. You see him have some issues with, and I love the fact that Judi Dench as M calls him out on being a sexist, misogynist dinosaur. I love it. There's something about that, and the way that they both play it, it's great. I love it. But I think maybe it's just because if you look at the 6 of them in a line, I think Pierce Brosnan is the best looking one. He looks suave, sophisticated, and he looks desirable. Like you get what I'm saying? Like women look at Pierce Brosnan and go, yeah, you know? Not everybody would look at Daniel Craig and go, yeah. I mean, there are probably people that think Daniel Craig's hot, but that's just kind of how I look at it. I have to go to bed. Great stream. Rufus, have a good one, sir. Have a good one. You Only Live Twice is another favorite of mine. Probably my favorite score. Plus, it has Donald Pleasance in it. But You Only Live Twice is it's such a goofy ass movie. A lot of to me, Thunderball, You Only Live Twice, and Diamonds Are Forever are 3 of the cheesiest. But then you get into the Roger Moore stuff, and almost every one of his movies has something super freaking cheesy in it. And it's so goofy. But man, I kind of love them all, you know? There's things that I love about all of them. Remember the Spike TV Thanksgiving Day Bond movie marathon? Do I? Yeah, I used to watch them all the time. When it comes to Bond, Calvin Dyson is a great YouTube channel to check out. He does a lot of 1 to 2 hour dives on movies. Yeah, I've never heard of Calvin Dyson. Calvin Dyson. That son of a... in-depth James Bond reviews. Look at that.
No Time to Die has the most crazy and agonized...
Hey. Oh no, you know what? I've seen him before. Yes. Interesting. I didn't know about censored GoldenEye scenes. I must watch this. Interesting. Thanks for the recommendation, Filbert. I appreciate that. Bond movies for you are like the fast movies for me, but I do love me some Bond movies. You're right, though. GoldenEye is one of the best. Me and Anna watched it maybe 6 months ago. I agree, too, that Pierce looks the best and has the most Bond look. I know. I mean, I don't know. And maybe it's just... hey, maybe I'm just attracted to Pierce Brosnan, but the dude he's a good-looking dude, you know? And I feel like Bond should be good looking. When I saw Daniel Craig, I was kind of like, he's kind of homely. He's kind of homely to me. And Timothy Dalton is better looking than Daniel Craig, in my opinion. Okay? Now, I mean, like I said, maybe I'm showing off a little bit of, fluidity here, or whatever you want to call it. But I'm just going to say, I look at all those. Timothy Dalton's not one of the best looking ones, but he's better looking than Daniel Craig. Okay? Lazenby is also kind of not great looking. Roger Moore and Sean Connery are both, in their primes, sexy dudes. just sexy dudes. But Pierce Brosnan has the whole package for me. It's just me. That's just my opinion. I'll pierce my Brosnan for him. Martin Campbell made the best Pierce Brosnan Bond and the best Danny Craig Bond. You're right, because he did Casino Royale, right? Because Casino Royale is a banger too. But again, it's so damn, it's just dour, you know? And he's just like, I don't know. That's one thing I love about Bond. It has distinct eras, and I really appreciate they seem to try a different take with Bond each era. I think so many long-lived series are afraid of doing what Bond does. Absolutely. And it's the thing that I kept thinking when everybody was getting so upset about the fact that, or about the idea of them moving on from Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones. I'm like, dude, let him go do whatever movies he wants to do now. Let's move on with a new Indiana Jones. And why not do it like Bond? I don't know. That's just, I need a dapper Bond. Yes, dapper. That's a good word. But yes, dapper. For sure. For sure, dapper. I think Bond character seems dead to me. The movies had a feel, but the only unique thing I can call out is the theme song. Interesting, Knights of Old. I just loves. I loves me some Bonds. The Daniel Craig movies are good movies, but I feel like, and this is something, maybe it's the Broccoli's, you know, the people that own Bond, maybe that's the problem. I mean, Star Wars comes out, and what do? They make Moonraker, you know, and you know, The Dark Knight becomes this huge cult phenomenon, or not cult, but worldwide phenomenon. So what do? They make a character just like that for Skyfall. I don't know. I feel like they chase trends too much, and I feel like they need to get back into something like a good balance of the goofy, fun humor, the things that make Bond fun, the gadgets and all that kind of stuff, but then make them, you know, where he's got some humanity to him. I don't know. I've only seen 1 or 2 Bond movies, not my thing. Yeah, there you go. See? Drives me nuts the character isn't the actor. I know. That's how I look at it. But I mean, there's people that are just they can't let go of Harrison Ford. And I mean, how many times has the Alden Ehrenreich conversation come up with Solo? I thought he did great. But hey, Craig just seemed angry and serious all the time. I mean, yeah, but I mean, I get it, but let's move on from Bond. I mean, look, I love the Bond movies, and if anybody wants to talk Bond, let's talk Bond. You know what I mean? You should be the next Bond. I am not. I am not athletic or charismatic enough to pull off something like Bond. I appreciate the sentiment, but that is yeah, you think people were upset with the Daniel Craig decision? They would be upset when they go, "Who is that goofy looking big nosed?" No. But I wanted to talk really quick. We talked about this kind of last week. Oop, not that. We already talked about Deadpool and Wolverine. Megalopolis. Okay. So it was at Cannes Film Festival. Got a 7-minute ovation. But man, if you read the reviews, wow. I think people don't know what to really make of this movie. Some people are calling it brilliant. Some people are calling it incoherent. I got to see this movie. This is a movie I have to see. Because it's Francis Ford Coppola, number 1. And number 2, it looks insane. But I got to try because Francis Ford Coppola has made some amazing films. And I have to. I'm sorry, but I have to. I have to see Megalopolis. What is this movie about? Wraith? I've seen a trailer and a clip from a movie. I've read the synopsis, and I still don't know what the hell the movie's about. I don't know. But I want to see it. I want to see it. And then at Cannes, another movie made its kind of premiere, and that was Horizon. Kevin Costner. This one also got I think they said 7.5 minute ovation. And there's video of Kevin Costner getting teary-eyed and all that kind of stuff. But they said the same thing about this one. It's too long. It's got too many characters. It doesn't make sense. And now Kevin Costner's like, well, I've already made the second one, and I want to make 2 more after that. But I can't help it. I want to see it. 2 movies that have been very divisive at Cannes Film Festival. And I still want to watch them. I don't know. Maybe I'm just sick. Or maybe it's because, I give the directors too much credit. And it's why I'll always give Ridley Scott a chance. Because I love Ridley Scott. I don't know. But yeah, I just wanted to let you know that, yeah, those did premiere, and there are reviews out there if you would like to read about them. I like the Craig movies. I just preferred Brosnan as my Bond. There you go. I know a lot of time they get long ovation because so much of the cast is there, but yeah, excited to see this just because of the zeitgeist. I mean, yeah, it's just, I just got to see them. And it helps that one of them has Adam Driver in it. Megalopolis has Adam Driver in it. There you go. That I'll see. See, Wraith's with me on that one. Have you seen the 1927 Metropolis, Rob? Always been on my watch list, never gotten to it. I have seen bits and pieces. I've never seen the whole thing. That Megalopolis, what did they say? What did they call it? Megaflopolis is what a lot of people have been saying. Looks like a Souls style game cover. Yeah. When the critics hate stuff of today, that's a good thing in my opinion. Well, it depends. See, that's the thing, is that and it's the thing where it's why I try not to I don't do it. I don't give scores to movies. Every now and then I'll say, yeah, this is like 4 out of 5 on the or 3 out of 4 on the Rob scale or whatever, and Bucho asked for that. But it's like, it's hard to give ratings because art is so subjective, right? There are people that look at, you name the movie, there's going to be some people that like it. There's going to be some people that love it. And then there's going to be some people that say it's the worst piece of trash ever. It's the worst movie I've ever seen. Again, if you say it's the worst thing you've ever seen, you need to watch more movies. That's all I'm saying. Because there are some really bad movies, Like when somebody says The Last Jedi is the worst movie I've ever seen, I'm like, okay, I get it. You didn't like it, but it's not the worst thing you've ever seen. I don't know. Anyway, my point is, what is my point? Oh, yeah. Critics are just another level of judgment, and I have to read what somebody says, or watch a review to get to the real meat of it, because they might say, well, I don't like that they used, what's something ridiculous that's not true. I don't like the fact that all of the plastic used in the movie was not recycled plastic. So I'm going to give this movie a bad review. Okay. So you said it was bad, but it has nothing to do with the actual quality of the movie. Okay. So you try to follow critics that, or at least try to get a wide spectrum of analysis of a movie and not just one person. To me, what excites me is that when I see such a great divide, but a lot of even some of the good reviews are kind of like, it's a mess. But it's Francis Ford Coppola. I mean, it's worth watching. When you read that, you kind of go, oh, okay. So even though I'm a fan of Francis Ford Coppola, it may not be a great movie. I don't know. But the curiosity it's already grabbed me. Both of those movies, Horizon 2. I mean, Horizon, they said there's so many characters that it feels like a television series. It doesn't feel like a movie. But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, huge, amazing shot, vista or whatever that's beautiful. And yeah, so I got to see both of them. Costner is getting like Cameron, but not as much talent. I mean, you could say that, but the thing is we don't know. We don't really know. Because to me, Dances with Wolves is an amazing movie. And Open Range is an amazing movie. I mean, you want to talk about underrated? That is an underrated movie. That movie's fantastic. Both directed by Costner. But then he also made The Postman, which I think is probably one of the worst films from an Oscar-winning director that I may have. It may be the worst Academy Award-winning director's movie that I've ever seen. I don't know if I said that right, but you get what I'm saying. He's an Oscar winner, and then he makes The Postman, and it's horrifically bad in my opinion. But there are people that like The Postman, so maybe I need to watch it again. Not my Bond. Yeah, exactly. Bonobo juice. It's good to see you, man. Yeah, it's good to see you. It's been a while. I need to. I know that there's, life gets in the way a lot of times, but man, I need to hang out with Scat a little more. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? I miss that. I miss just hearing some crazy things coming out of your mouth. Just like anyone else's critics can be right or wrong, for it's more about finding a critic who you align with more than the entire profession. I mean, yeah, but even like, I think Roger Ebert was the best. And I don't know if there's anybody that will ever do it as great as Roger did. But I still disagreed with him. But on some movies I'm like, you're way off base there, dude, because that movie was great and I enjoyed it. But that's the thing. It's you don't just listen to one or watch one or read one. You if you're interested in it and you want to know opinions, you have to read more than one. Because what if he was, what if he had the bubble guts when he watched that movie that day? And so all day he's kind of like, oh. So and again, you can only see a movie the first time once. And that first time can be tainted or accentuated by the experience that you have watching that movie. So what if he had the bubble guts and he wasn't feeling great? And he watches the movie and he goes, well, that movie sucked. Watches it again with a clear colon. He watches it again and he goes, wow, this movie's not bad. Maybe that's it. Anyway. Just saw the Megalopolis trailer. It's definitely different. Yeah, but can you tell what it's about? I can't. It's fascinating. If you know the critic well, you can understand their opinion. Yeah, you can understand their opinion. Good. Like there are some critics for games I follow that if they hate it, I will love it. Exactly. There you go. When I rate something, I don't think of it as a kind of objective assessment. It's just my simplified summary of how much I dig the movie, show, book, etc. But the problem is that so many people, like if I was doing written reviews, if I was being paid to review movies, it would suck that eventually, or it would be inevitable that someone would either read the headline or see my star rating and not read the reasons. Because so much of what I think of a movie is based on a lot of different things that you can't get that information by reading, how many stars it has, or reading a headline that says I don't know. The Postman was way off base, and what a silly idea. But let me tell you why. You know what I mean? I don't know. I get what you're saying, but I also get what I'm saying because it's in my brain and I understand myself. Is because it isn't random person or just a score. I have a general understanding about their bias and what they like. Yes. I demand a rating on the 4-star Robert Ebert scale. That's all I'm really asking for. A subjective summary of how. Okay. I'm like you, Rob. I don't like scoring art like movies or games. I always point to games like depending on the genre, the UI is way more important and can make or break a game. Yes. Synopsis from Wiki. An accident destroys a decaying metropolis called New Rome. Caesar Catalina, an idealist architect with the power to control time, aims to rebuild it as a sustainable utopia, while his opposition, corrupt Mayor Franklin Cicero, remains committed to a regressive status quo. Torn between them is Franklin's socialite daughter Julia, who, tired of the influence she inherited, searches for her life's meaning. That is a wow. That's a lot. Movie same can be true for a genre, like an action movie casting isn't as important as it is in a suspense. The Postman didn't deliver. Carbonite. That's perfect. That's perfect. I'm surprised that isn't like what they have on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever. That's a great one. That's a great one right there. This isn't Minecraft. Well, hello, Vinny. How are you doing? We're just gonna finish up the news real quick. Let's see. What do we have here? Okay, we have that. We have that. We have that. We have that. With that. Wow, really? We have 6 more things. We have 6 more things. 6 more things to talk about. First up, this. Start over. I just got here. Okay, Vinny. I'll just okay. Welcome to Order 42. I am Rob. And hey, we got some people in here tonight. And no, we're not doing that. Yeah, Donnie Yen. Donnie Yen, who was one of my favorite things about John Wick Chapter 4. They're doing a spin-off movie with him, with his character Kane. I like it. Lionsgate is developing a film around his assassin character after the Hong Kong action hero pushed back on Asian stereotypes and got script changes. That's a weird... The way that sentence reads is strange. I liked Waterworld. I remember seeing it in theater. But Carbonite, Waterworld wasn't directed by Kevin Costner. It was directed by Kevin Reynolds, who did Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Which, again, it's not a great movie, but for some reason, I love it. See, like the way that reads, developing a film around his assassin character after the Hong Kong action hero pushed back on Asian stereotypes and got script changes. So basically, yeah, it's interesting though. So basically, he said, I don't want to play a character like that. I'd rather it be like this. And apparently, Lionsgate liked it so much. Let's give him a spinoff. I like that. I like that. I liked Water. I already said that. This is going to be great. Oh, well, okay, Carbon. I was just saying. You're just saying it was good. Well, I mean, I remember. I enjoy Waterworld for what it was. I used to hate saying that, by the way. I used to hate saying I like something for what it is, or I like it. I don't like it when people say, "Well, it's good for what it is." Well, what is it supposed to be? You know, it's like it's good for what it is. Sounds like an excuse, but it's really not. Waterworld is a specific movie in a genre, and for what that is, which is kind of a high concept fantasy about an apocalyptic thing and men with gills, I enjoyed it. Is it the best movie in the world? No, but I enjoyed it. Donnie Yen was awful in John Wick 4, a ridiculous character. So ridiculous he could be in a Fast and Furious movie. BC, wow. I really enjoyed his character. I thought he was fun. So there you go. A dissenting opinion. So I assume that you will not be watching the Kane Mutiny, the Kane film that is coming out. And yeah, Robin Hood Prince of Thieves has an awesome soundtrack. Absolutely. Absolutely it does. I mean, Morgan Creek, the production house that made or that financed Robin Hood, used the Robin Hood theme as their own theme for Morgan Creek for years after. I don't even know if Morgan Creek still exists anymore. But Morgan Creek was the production thing, you know. I just remember it had the squiggly lines. And I just remember it because when it was another Morgan Creek movie that would start, they'd play that da 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 da. I like it. I like the Robin Hood theme. But anyway, yeah. So Donnie, BC, not a fan of the Donnie Yen character. Wow. Now, see, I only saw the movie once. I enjoyed this character. I thought it was kind of cool. But really, if you think about it, BC, John Wick could be in Fast and Furious. If Fast and Furious wasn't owned by Universal and John Wick wasn't owned by Lionsgate, I could see John Wick and Fast and Furious being in a similar thing. But anyway, this was another thing that happened, and from what I've heard so far, it's nothing to really get like super crazy weird about. But the Indian Paintbrush founder Stephen Rails buys Criterion and Giannis Films. So it is Giannis, right? And not Janus? Because that like, is your first name Hugh? Hugh Janus? Hugh Janus? Anyway, it's Giannis, right? The two-headed god. It's Giannis. Just like in GoldenEye. But anyway, apparently Stephen Rails, he's the producer of Wes Anderson films. And everything that I've read about this, people say, yeah, this is nothing to worry about. It's not like they're going to fire all of the people that work on Criterion films, nor do they wish to change the way things go at Criterion. But that's a thing. So Criterion has been bought. It's kind of interesting. I just figured I'd let you know. I'm for John Wick and the Fast movies. Yeah. Fallout was great. Did you enjoy it? Fallout was awesome. That was a really, really good show. Surprisingly good. Like I kept waiting for the shoe to fall and go, okay, this is going to start getting stupid. Nope, it's still good. Okay. And then it ended. And I'm like, holy crap, I want to see a season 2. Good job. Now, see, here's the funny thing, right? You've got things like Fallout. You've got things like The Boys. You've got things like the Jack Ryan. I've only seen like the first part or the first season of Jack Ryan, but I thought it was pretty solid. Some really, really solid entertainment. And then you get Rings of Power. Just kind of sucks. I kind of wish that it was kind of more like Apple where everything was good. You know, from what I hear, like everything that Apple's done so far has been like really, really good in its specific genre, but I don't know. Did I replace the camera or were you able to fix the dead pixel? I must know. I don't know what happened. So what I did was I took the lens off, got some canned air, right? Put it back on, and it was still there. Turned it off, and I said, okay, well, I need to know if it's the lens or the camera. Did I tell you about this? Did I say this before? I'm trying to Google it, but only get plants. Indian Paintbrush is basically the studio that makes the Wes Anderson films. I believe. But anyway, so I took off this lens and I put on my whatever lens that I have, and I put it on, and it wasn't there. And I said, okay. So to me, that means that the problem is in the lens and not the body of the camera, which is good news because I can buy another lens. No big deal. But then I came back in here and it was gone. So, because it was right here and it's not there anymore. So, who knows? All I know is it worked. But and you know I was not blaming you for the problem. I hope you know that. You know that. They're only the greatest movie franchise ever. By John Wick 4, things started to get ridiculously cartoonish. I lost count of how many bullets he was able to block with his Kevlar lined suit jacket. I mean, BC, those movies they're comic book movies. They're goofy movies, right? And I get that. They have gotten progressively worse and worse when it comes to that, but for some reason I can watch a John Wick movie and be pretty fine with it, but then I watch the same kind of stuff on Fast and Furious and I'm like, this is terrible. I don't like it. I don't know. They work for me. I haven't heard about the camera fix or attempt. Well, there you go. Apple has done well. I haven't seen a lot of their stuff, but their show, I try to be, but every show I try has been terrific. Severance was a masterpiece. Absolutely. Also enjoyed Ted Lasso, which I still haven't watched. I need to watch that one, but I haven't yet. I'm back. Well, Matt Walls, welcome back. I don't think you missed. Well, I mean, you missed some stuff, but hey. Now look, here's one of these. Here's one of the things that's like. I mean, this is just not good news. Okay. I hate it when it does that. There we go. Major Pixar layoffs, long expected, now underway in restructuring. So, it's the biggest restructuring in Pixar's history, although top leadership isn't impacted. Approximately 14% of Pixar's workforce, or around 175 employees, will be let go. I don't know if you guys are seeing the similarities between the movie industry and the gaming industry. It seems like it's a constant race to see how expensive we can make something with the smallest amount of people. Like, I just don't understand that thought process. And it seems to me that you've got people, the same kind of people working for gaming companies. And I'm talking about the companies that own those gaming companies, right? Not the actual studios themselves, but the major gaming companies, right? Right? Just like in this case, you've got a studio who's having to lay off employees because of whatever. It seems to be the same sort of thing. You've got people in both sides, both industries, that know nothing about how to do the thing. You got people who work as executives in movie studios that don't know how movies work. That don't know that, hey, maybe if you don't spend $150 million on your movie, maybe you can turn a profit. Because we're kind of in a different era now. So maybe we need to look at, I don't know, maybe not allowing $150 million movies, just giving them out like this, right? The gaming industry seems to be in the same situation. And I just wanted to bring this up, not to harp on Disney or anything like that. I mean, Disney's got problems. And it's going to be, I'm hoping that they can come through. Because for the longest time, let's be honest, the worst thing that we had to complain about at Disney was the Star Wars movies. And then the animation movies started getting bad. And then the Marvel movies started getting bad. And then we got, the Book of Boba Fett. And look, if you like Book of Boba Fett, hey, whatever. But all I'm trying to say is, yeah, it seems to be a thing that all of the major entertainments, I would say studios, but it's crazy. It's overspending, and hopefully we'll get back to some sort of normal. I just don't know when. CEOs need to get paid, Rob. In game industry, it's getting a little scary. Yeah. Oh, you're in the gaming industry. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. But do you see the similarity though? It seems to be the same sort of thing. Like all of a sudden, I'm surprised that we're not seeing, of course, it hasn't really been that way. And it's not really announced the same way. I was thinking about how like Xbox closed down a studio this week, right? Was it Xbox? I think it was Xbox closed the studio this week. Book of Boba Fett. How about that Book of Boba Fett? Yeah. But yeah, it seems to be like with the movie studios, they don't like if they say, "Hey, we're not going to make Touchstone movies Touchstone Pictures." Remember Touchstone Pictures? A little circle would go along and then it would get struck by lightning. Right? Touchstone. Disney never really came out and said, "Hey, we're getting rid of Touchstone." But I don't know. It's just it's a weird situation right now. I wonder if Pixar will be using more AI. Oh, please no. And no, sorry, Carbonite. I did not see Abigail. I don't know. Just wasn't my thing. I mean, I saw the trailer and was like, this looks like the whole movie. So, I mean, I've heard it was really, really entertaining, but it's just not for me. With gaming, I understand during pandemic, everyone stayed home and played games, so that expanded. Now it's contracting. Exactly. I don't even buy AAA games anymore. I try to support indies. Yeah. And then you've got things like Game Pass where it seems to be the same situation as, I don't know, the streaming services where they've hit a saturation point. And now they're trying to figure out, okay, but what do we do now? Because if Ultimate Game Pass is what, $15 a month? These games cost $70, if you just buy the disc off the shelf. So how do we make money on this? It's a weird situation. What's wrong with Book of Fett? Really? I just didn't. I thought Book of Boba Fett was. I'll just say this: if you liked Book of Boba Fett, cool. I thought that it didn't even stay consistent within the TV version of Boba Fett that we'd seen in The Mandalorian. It seemed like a different character, and then it went off and did other things. It became Mando season 2.5, and there was goofy stuff, and there were things that just didn't make sense. Okay, this isn't really a spoiler. No, it is a spoiler. I'm not going to say it. That last episode was shockingly, like, why would you do that? Why? I don't know. Okay. Why wouldn't you use your ship instead of riding a thing into town? But anyway, I've complained about Book of Boba Fett. Boy and the Heron and Suzume were both amazing anime films. I have not seen either one. I've heard good things about both of those. Good things. No spoilers. I'm doing my first watch through of Andor and absolutely loving it. Yes. And I'm a crabby old man, don't change stuff person. Well, what did they really change there? It's more about just they're adding to it. But man, I love that show. I know that there's people like I think Billy can't even get into it. He says boring to him. for me, it's exactly, man, I just love it. I love everything about it. I don't want to say anything to give anything away, but man, I'm glad you're enjoying that, because I think for a lot of people, Andor was the, oh my god, they can still make really great Star Wars. Like, it was almost a shock at how good it was. But Xbox closed multiple studios recently. The TriStar Unicorn, yeah. Yes. Ninja Theory is unfortunately on the chopping block after the Hellblade 2 release today. There's been no advertising for it. Yeah, I've heard, and I've just seen, again, on Twitter, a couple of reactions. Some people saying that, it's only like 5 hours, 5.5 hours. And that I never played the first game, but they said that the first game was very simplistic in the way that that it controls, and that 2 is even more simplistic, which is like hard to believe for some people. So who knows, man? I don't know. I don't know if it's a game that I want. Then I don't care if it's AAA or indie. If I want it, I'm buying it, like Hellblade 2. See, there you go, Ricky. You do the thing, man. Top level see all non-essentials as expendable, always looking to minimize risk and farm out at low costs. Creatives are risky. But see, that's the crazy thing, is that when you have people making recommendations and cuts based on a lack of knowledge about the thing that you're in, the industry that you're in, that's a problem. I.e., studio executives not releasing certain movies because they look at it and go, well, what is this? Like, I'm surprised that we're getting so many classic movies from the studios, on physical media, because of how many weird things that they've kind of screwed up. But then again, a lot, the vast majority of the classic films that are being released today are from boutique situations, boutique manufacturers. But anyway, never seen Book of Fett, just curious. Yeah, Wraith, it's uneven at best. And again, I'm annoyed at how much they changed the character, when in Mandalorian he's supposed to be a certain way. Then he goes into Book of Boba Fett and suddenly he's not good. I don't know what it is about them. I can't get into the Ghibli movies. Ghibli? Or am I supposed to Ghost Ghibli? I've watched 1 or 2. I need to watch them. Andor is a slow burn. There's a lot of setup, but it has a great payoff. Again, it's more about, to me, it's more about, wow, somebody actually has a story to tell. Who knew? Who knew that something that, like, having a story? It's kind of like Marvel. Marvel, for the longest time, has been wanting to set up the next thing. So it feels like so much of this current movie that you're watching is basically setting up the next thing, instead of something like Andor, where it's like, we're not concerned about selling toys. We're not concerned about how it connects to this and this and this and this. I just have a story that I want to tell. And who knew? It's great. Game industry was at full capacity before pandemic. Development slowed down during pandemic. Companies had to spend extra cash, but like so many, blame Corona to lay off all. Yeah. It's like Ghibli. All right, thank you. Thank you, Vinny. I appreciate that, because I never know. They Disneyfied Boba, turned him into a good guy. I don't even think it was that. You could still have him turn him into a good guy, but there has to be, you're a crime lord. I'm the crime lord with the heart of gold, but you're taking over for Jabba the Hutt. You're still doing business with unsavory people. What I wanted when I saw that he was going to be taking the throne from Jabba, or basically, yeah, after Jabba, I was expecting like a Godfather, or a Sopranos level of, okay, finally we get to see what the inner workings of bounty hunters and the criminal underworld of Star Wars is like. That's not what we got. We didn't get any of that. And I'm kind of like, well, that sucks. So anyway. And Melvor, welcome, sir. Andor is a really good. Yes. There will be a lull of AAA games in the next 5 years. The ones that come out will mostly be owned by the big three publishers. Just like movies, risky AAA won't be made. Yes. 5 to 6 years to make Hellblade 2, only to have 5 hours of a game, and I've heard there's even less gameplay. Where was Microsoft at? I think Phil needs to be replaced because his track record has been rough. Yeah, I don't see. That's the thing. When it comes to the gaming side, I kind of try to stay a little bit into the inner workings of some stuff. I watch Spawn Wave basically, and I'll watch a video here and there about a certain game or whatever, but for the most part, I don't have the knowledge that I have about. I mean, not that I'm like this super insider when it comes to the movie industry, but I know about the movie industry a lot more than about the gaming industry. I also hate knowing about a game years before it comes out. Just tell me 1 year out max, because then my hype is gone later and sometimes I completely forget about said game. I've been saying that for years. Look at the movie industry. Usually you don't get the first teaser trailer until like 3 months before, which is for the most part, unless you're watching Order 42, you don't know about the movie until about 3 months before the movie's set to release. And why you do that? Number one, what if you have to delay something? What if you have to, I don't know, reshoot a whole segment of the movie? What if the digital effects that you have in the movie are late? There's all kinds of reasons why you wouldn't want to, promote it way too early. But yeah, video games, here's the thing that I hate about the video game industry right now is if you are going to announce a game, I want to see the name and that's it. Unless you have gameplay. If you're showing me a cinematic trailer, I don't care. I don't care about a cinematic trailer. And that's the thing. I'm a story guy, right? But like I've seen release or announcements with gameplay that make me go, "Oh, I want to play that." But how many times have you seen the cinematic trailer and you go, "Oh my god, this is going to be amazing." And then the game comes out and you're like, "This is crap." That's why. I don't care about cinematic trailers. Boba is a nice crime lord. That's like having a caring Sith. Yes. Not having hype, in my opinion, is generally a good thing. That's absolutely. I've been saying that for years, Filbert. And it's basically the way that I always said it is that expectations can be good and they can be really bad. I try not to have expectations. I try not to. And this can be frustrating, since I'm covering a movie channel type thing. But like in between episodes 7, 8, and 9, hype was through the roof for me. You have to understand. I was excited. I was always excited about Star Wars. I was so excited. But I stopped speculating because I figured out when the prequels came out that I was just disappointed every time I saw it the first time because they did something that I didn't think about or that maybe my idea was better. And so I started to say, why should I be comparing it to something that, number one, it can never be? Something that is in my own head. They didn't pay me to write the script, so I need to judge it on its own merits and not judge it based on hype or anything like that. So yeah, I've been saying that for years. It just happens that all that excitement for episodes 7, 8, and 9 was wasted when Rise of Skywalker came out and basically put poop in my water. That's the second poop thing tonight. Sorry. I guess I'm in a poopy kind of mood. If they told us 6 months ago, then I probably would have gone and got a Series X. See? Other than the flashbacks, Boba should have only taken the helmet off around Fennec. I mean, yeah. I mean, I really don't. I'm honestly not that big of a stickler for that kind of stuff. But that's a, like, if that was the least of the issues in the book of Boba Fett, I would have been very happy. But yeah, there's so many problems in that show. I don't want to know about a game coming out in 26. It's just dumb. Yes. Assassin's Creed games, Rob, great cinematic than meh gameplay. There was something leaked that they have till 2028 to make Game Pass super profitable. Microsoft is already looking to close Xbox around that time. It's a tax write-off now. Poopy42. That's the underground name. That's the, if you're cool, you call it Poopy42. The Star Wars games like Jedi Fallen Order have good storylines. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But you have to play. You have to see the gameplay though for it to really grab you. I don't know. If it isn't Rob from Texas and his jumping rings of fire. Jumping rings of fire. But yes, hi Ito. How's it going? Good to see you. Now, hey, are there any Star Trek fans here? Because this happened. Simon Kinberg in talks to produce a Star Trek movie franchise for Paramount. So, I don't know if this is good news or not. I've seen oh god, it's going to be terrible, and we'll see. So Simon Kinberg did the last X-Men movies. It's also got a director in Toby Haynes, who directed episodes of the Star Wars series Andor. I mean, that could be good, but it's all dependent upon the story, right? And that's really what it comes down to. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. I know very little about Star Trek. Okay. I am not a Trekker or a Trekkie or a Trekographer. I'm just not. It's not my thing. But when I saw this, I saw some Star Trek fans that I know kind of shouting opinions, and it just made me think, well, maybe I should talk about it on the show and at least bring it up, and have you guys say yay or oh crap or whatever. I want Xbox to be successful. That's actually my preferred console brand, but they don't have anything I want to play. Look, Matt, I have to agree. There's not a whole lot right now that I want to play from Xbox, but I still say that if you're into indie games and you're into, I mean, look, it depends on how you view subscriptions, because I think Game Pass is so cool. I still have a Game Pass. I probably need to cancel it, honestly. I haven't played a Game Pass game in a long time. But I love the fact that I can just go, hey, the game's on Game Pass. Download it and just play it. It's awesome. It's great. But it also kind of cheapens it in a way too, And because there's so many games on Game Pass, there's the same thing that happens when you're watching Netflix and you're doom scrolling and you don't know what to watch, and there's so many different things and you just get lost and you're like, I don't know. And then you end up 30 minutes later, you haven't done anything. Same kind of thing. So there you go. Star Trek is cool. Haven't watched newer stuff. Yeah, this is supposed to be apparently a prequel to J.J. Abrams' movie, which there are people that don't like. There are a lot of people, actually, that don't like the J.J. Abrams Star Trek. I understand. I get it. But I really enjoyed that take of on Star Trek. And I actually like the fact that if it was really important to the Star Trek fans, this could be looked at as an alternate timeline. But then again, everybody's sick of multiverse stuff now, so it's kind of like, I don't know what to do. So yeah, it's a prequel. to Star Trek, apparently. So TNG is my favorite. The new movies were okay, and thought the best was the third one, actually. Yeah, I actually enjoyed that one. It's not bad. Have I seen the movie Fanboys? I don't know if I've seen it. I'm trying to remember. Let me look at it. Let's just look at it real quick, shall we? Fanboys movie. I think I did see it. I don't really remember it though. Yes, I must have seen this. But I remember it being like, it's fine. It's okay. New Trek became Star Wars in all the worst ways. That's what many people have said about Star Trek, is that it just basically, and not dumbed it down like Star Wars fans are dumb, but it's just it took away what was great about Star Trek. And J.J. Abrams himself saying, "Yeah, I never liked Star Trek." So it's kind of like it rubs people the wrong way. If into indie games it's just Steam. Oh, that's true, Knights of Old. I mean, absolutely. But I guess if you're, look, I love my Steam Deck. I do. So, very valid point there, Knights of Old. Just watched TNG season 2. Can't believe the season finale was a Riker clip show. Dumb. I'm just glad that Microsoft really started embracing PC again. They've been doing great on PC again for years now. Microsoft Games is much more than just Xbox. That's true. That's true. Until I see a trailer, I'll believe we were getting another Star Trek movie. Maybe I won't believe. Star Trek is getting there to tripping over into being a dead franchise. That's my opinion, and I love Star Trek. I've seen it all. Deep Space Nine was my favorite series. Yeah, and that's part of the issue too, right? Is that it's the same as Star Wars, you know? Why are you hiring people? I I don't know. I don't know what the plan is. I don't know. With Star Trek, I don't have an opinion on where to go with it. I just know with Star Wars, being a fan is nice, but what's more important is being a good storyteller. And that's been the problem with Star Wars for many years, you know? So, yeah. That's the way that I look at it. I feel like if all you're doing is trying to sell toys, or, or trying to connect to the next movie, that's a problem. Tell a good story and we'll all be there. The other stuff will come with it, you know? Oh, look at the ship that this really cool character flies in the new Star Wars movie. Guess what? Kids are going to want to play with that ship and that action figure. So make the dude cool. Make the story cool. But again, making things good doesn't matter. It's just making it profitable. That's the focus. Anyway, I don't want to get too back into that because we talked about that a lot last week. To boldly go where no Star Trek, to boldly go where no guy has gone before. We got to meet Kyle Newman when he was promoting the movie. He was signing free 8x10s at a local sci-fi convention. What was that for? Oh, with fanboys. Oh, okay. I'm glad that Microsoft has embraced PC. They need to put more from their catalog on PC. True. The few episodes of Discovery I saw said I saw they didn't act like military, yelling at officers, hugging, kissing, and crying. It was weird. I never watched it. I never watched any of the Discovery stuff. It's just not my. I looked at it and went, not my thing. But hey, if people like it, great. If you don't like it, okay. I just don't have a lot to say about Star Trek. You know what I mean? But hey, here's another up and coming movie that I thought was interesting. We're going to talk about it just for a second. Mark Ruffalo in talks to co-star opposite Chris Hemsworth in Amazon MGM Studios adaptation of Don Winslow's Crime 101. You might say, Mark Ruffalo's okay. Chris Hemsworth, he's hit or miss, right? Well, listen to this synopsis, okay? The original short story by Winslow has shades of Heat. I perked up. As it follows high-level jewel thefts. As it follows high-level jewel thefts that are taking place up and down the Pacific coast, which police have linked to Colombian cartels. Detective Lou Lubeznik? Detective has other ideas, and he zeroes in on one perp, a thief looking for a final score. It could be cool. Called Crime 101. And I don't know jack about Don Winslow. Anybody read any Don Winslow? I don't know if I've ever read a Don Winslow movie, book, thing, anything. Don Winslow. Gonna jump off, Rob. Nice chatting and listening. Filbert, have a good one, sir. We're gonna turn it off here in a few minutes because last week, I was hoarse for 2 days. And not hoarse as in, I mean, like, I couldn't talk. So, yeah. Let's see. What was I going to do? Don Winslow. Books. Don Winslow books. City in Ruins, City on Fire, City of Dreams, The Power of the Dog, The Cartel, The Border, Savages, The Force, Winter of Frankie Machine. I've never heard of any of these, honestly. But there you go. Hey. New movie with those Mark Ruffalo and Chris Hemsworth. So there you go. I'll watch at some point going through TNG Voyager DS9 first. Blackout 77 is on my radar. That sounds awesome, doesn't it? If he had any brains, he'd come out with Mark Ruffalo chips in original barbecue and sour cream and onion. Mark Ruffalo chips. So rough, like Ruffles. I love that it took me that long to go, what the hell do you mean by that? That's scat right there, man. That's bonobo juice for you right there. Oh my god. Mark Ruffalo chips. What did we? I don't remember what we said before. And the name kept changing just a little bit until it got so far away that it's like that nobody's gonna call him that. And it would be funny if they did though, because if they called him, it's kind of like the Benedict Cumberbatch stuff, and then it was Bender Snip Flippy Batch or what, you know what I mean? It's like it kept getting further and further away from the actual name. Anyway, that was great. Ruffalo Wild Wings. Mark Ruffalo was great in the movie 13 Going on 30. I haven't seen that, but I have seen him in Zodiac where he is fantastic. I love it. But here's the last thing, guys. And this is, again, we're talking really preliminary here. Really preliminary. But X-Men movie at Marvel Studios gains momentum as Michael Leslie comes on as screenwriter. I forgot that he was in Collateral. But yeah, so X-Men movie soon? So here's the thing. Michael Leslie, this is what he wrote. This is what he's written. Some of the biggest stuff that he's written. He wrote the 2015 Macbeth with Michael Fassbender. That was pretty good. Now, you are adapting Shakespeare, so I'm not exactly sure if that's... The next thing he did was the Assassin's Creed movie. Pixel Phoenix, a wild Pixel Phoenix appears. Welcome, Pixel. How are you doing? But then the next movie he did was The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. So, but then again, if you think about it, there's probably some good and bad in a lot of writers' stuff, you know? But here's the thing. I just want a good movie. I want a good story. And hopefully this guy can help with that. And who knows? We're just in the screenwriting stage. So there you go. There you go. Marvel Studios hires a screenwriter for X-Men. There you go. That is basically the news. That's all the stuff. That's all the stuff for this week. Now, again, Retropalooza is this weekend. I didn't actually go into it very much, like at all. But Retropalooza is this weekend. I will be there. I hope to see if you're in the Houston area and you would like to go to Retropalooza, hey, maybe come say hi, you know? But also, yeah, I'll be leaving Friday morning. Thursday night, seeing Furiosa. There will be a review as quickly as possible. Let me see what else. What else is there? Tickets are on, Rob, if you mention this show. I'll say this. Okay, Wraith says, going to get anything in particular? There's nothing on my list, really. As I said earlier, one of my main focuses lately has been books. And mostly the books that I already own. So I'm making my way through books and just, I gotta say it, I'm just enjoying the hell out of them. Like I said, Heat 2 has been one of the biggest surprises. I cannot believe how much I'm enjoying that story. And then of course, like I said, I've been enjoying the Brandon Sanderson stuff, and I'm still reading Tolkien stuff that I'm not through with yet. So there's that too. So yeah, there's nothing at Retropalooza that I can think of that I would be like, oh, I gotta get that, or I'm really gonna, keep my eye open for this. Of course, I'll visit Chief's booth because Chief has the best booth. I might be a little biased because, well, Chief is awesome, but yeah. Tickets are, I'm finishing up the Mistborn series as we speak. Then I'm branching out into the rest of the Cosmere. Vinny, I'm on the same journey. I finished Elantris and The Hope of Elantris, which is available for free on the web. And then the next thing will be Mistborn. So I have, I'm reading Heat 2, which, like I said, it's so good. And then the next book on the list is Tree and Leaf, which is a Tolkien book. I don't know anything about it. I haven't read it. And then after that is the next Brandon Sanderson book, which is Mistborn. So I will be reading Mistborn shortly after you, Vinny. I jumped straight from Wheel of Time to Mistborn. It was certainly different, but now I'm totally into it. Yeah, and from what I hear here, there are multiple entry points into the Cosmere, right? Which is Brandon Sanderson's world or universe, whatever. I read that Elantris was the first published, so that's what I went with. I really enjoyed it, but from what I hear, it has nothing to do with anything else. So it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool to do the thing. So I hope you. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Vinny. And Wraith, you driving by yourself or carpooling with the fellas? I am driving with, or I'm going to be riding with Billy, I guess. Billy's going to be driving. Jay is leaving Thursday sometime. Don't know when exactly, but he will be there super early. Or he just wants to get started super early on Friday for setup. And then Billy and I, we don't have to be there until, technically we don't have to be there till Saturday morning. Because we're not we don't work for Jay or anything, But yeah, we're gonna go and hang out. Of course, Eric's gonna be there, Boogie's gonna be there. There's I'm looking forward to hanging out with Chief and Greg Honeycutt and AC. I mean, those guys. I'm serious. Greg and AC are two of the funniest guys. I love talking with them and just hanging out. So it's gonna be fun. Gonna be fun. But yeah, I'm not really interested in, or there's nothing, I shouldn't say that. There's nothing I'm going there for. Like, I'm not hunting for, I need a copy of Sim City and from the Super Nintendo, and it needs to be in primo condition, complete inbox. No, it's not. I don't care. Yeah. Get some behind the scenes footage from the con. Oh, Matt. I always do. Too bad I can't make it, but I will be there 100% in October. Wraith, awesome. I didn't realize that you were 100% for Retropalooza Arlington. But Retropalooza Arlington should be really, really fun. I believe Leon's trying to come back as well. But yeah, I mean, dude, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. And look, here's the thing. I get that. I mean, a lot of people came to my channel from the Game Chasers, or even from Game Dave, right? But I go to basically support Billy and Jay because they're like my brothers, and even though I'm not totally into the gaming stuff like they are, the retro gaming stuff that they are, I mean, they're the reason I'm doing this. So, yeah. I'm not doing it because I owe them, like, oh, I have to go, because no. If I said, hey, I don't really feel like going, they'd go, okay. But I also like to go and hang out and do the thing. So it's going to happen. And Rachel's not here, but I'm going to see Rachel there for sure. Rachel said that she's excited. They're starting driving out tomorrow. So that'll be fun, man. It'll be, if you're in the area, come hang out, come say hi. Be awesome. The only Sanderson I've read is the first Mistborn. It didn't start clicking with me until I eventually put a novelized anime lens on it. Not to mention you guys are cool magic system, decent world building, but very basic characterization. Well, there's Bucha's review of Mistborn. Okay. Not to mention you guys are making another movie together. I mean, of course, but just say you're there to have a good time with your friends. I mean, yeah, of course. I'll be there in spirit. Well, cool, Carbonite. If you see anything Crow related that's rare, let me know. Oh, I'll text you or put it in Discord or whatever. You know what I mean? Message you. So yeah. I hope you guys have a great week. And like I said, Furiosa comes out Thursday, and yeah, Mistborn, more like piss poor. Bonobo juice. You'll be on in 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks. No, I'll be back. I'll be back next Tuesday. Now, the next Tuesday, I'll be gone. But, yeah. Woo, gonna be a fun week. LOL, got him. Pixel, hey, I'll see you in a couple of weeks in the chat over a Game Dave stream. But look, you guys have a great whatever, all the things. Oh, that means I'm gonna be late. I'm gonna be late to Game Dave stream. Damn. Okay. Well, that's, I got confused with that other thing you're doing. Yeah. But yeah. So next week is normal, and then the next week I'll be gone, and then the next week I'll be back. So it'll all be good. But you guys have a great time, great week, all that stuff. Come see Retropalooza. Come to Retropalooza and come see us if you're going to be in the area. If not, hey, okay. I'm going to say bye now because I'm rambling. So yeah, bye.